What is up, hooligans? And happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. Going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we will be checking on all the chats. So let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we will be getting things started. Hope you guys had a fantastic Easter this weekend. I did okay. I got sunburned and I pretty much slept all Sunday. But other than that, it was fine. Anyways, we're going to be starting off with a video titled YouTuber Held Overseas After Diet Coke Left on Tribes Island. This whole story is weird. Apparently some YouTuber tried to go to some island where they have natives there that have never had contact with the outside world or something like that, and I have a lot of questions. I don't even understand why places like this even exist, but either way, we'll be starting off with that. Then we got a video titled Increased Space Travel Leads to More Than 130 Million Pieces of Space Junk Orbiting the Earth. I bring this up every once in a while. Apparently the news heard me talking about it, thought they'd go ahead and make a little video. We always talk about how there's climate change, but there's never anyone talking about pollution, which is supposedly the cause of climate change. But we got pollution around the planet too. Supposedly we got space debris floating around the planet, although you never see that when you're watching the NASA live feeds or anything like that. Anyways, then we got a video titled Criminals Using $20 Distraction Tactic to Scam Victims. This is more like don't let people get too close to you, but either way, I figure if there's so many people being duped this way that maybe we should raise some awareness on it. Then we got a video titled Pope Francis Dead at the Age of 88. I don't really know much about him, but whatever. This is going to give a brief summary on who he was, things he did. I guess he didn't like President Trump. Oh well. Either way, he's dead. Then we got a video titled China Warns Nations Not to Make Trade Deals with the U.S. China wants to interfere with our trading, trying to make sweet deals with these other countries, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Then we got a ridiculous video that is titled Report of a Second Pete Hegseth Signal Chat Leak, a non-story, says the White House. So we all know that Pete Hegseth was accused of the Signal Chat leak a few months ago. It was really stupid. The news kept covering it over and over again. They couldn't say what actually happened wrong. They just claimed that there was a leak, that they had described some targets, and then next thing you know, we had hit the Houthis, or I don't know. We did something overseas and everybody started crying really hard about it. They said that the person that was involved with the leak was some journalist who already doesn't have credibility because they lied about Russia, and all this other stuff. They are now calling this Signalgate. They're referring to this as a scandal. Blue Team News is very desperate. Their sympathy for the MS-13 woman-beating gang member that was here illegally, who's now in El Salvador where he belongs. It's something Garcia. That wasn't working, so I guess we got to go back to Signalgate, and that's what they're calling it now, these idiots. We got a video we're going to play alongside that. It's titled Hegseth Responds to Second Signal Chat Reports. Again, just saying it's nonsense. Desperate Blue Team doing what they do. Lie, cheat, steal. That's all they do. Then we got a video titled Donald Trump Unleashes an Hilariously Savage Easter Message. This is about how President Trump spent his Easter. Then we got a follow-up video titled Florida State University Shooting. Former classmate describes accused gunman. They're trying to paint him up like a right-wing extremist. It's basically a Trump supporter that went and shot up Florida State University. Obviously, that's not the case, but that's the picture they're trying to paint. Then we got a follow-up video that I had to go dig for because they don't want to keep this in the news. It's titled Dallas ISD Answers Questions About School Shooting. This is about the individual that shot 4 people in Dallas schools. They claim that they didn't understand how he brought the gun in the school. This is the school that took 2 questions from the press and then wrapped up their presser. A lot of suspicious stuff. Answering some of those questions. Like I said, they did not want to keep this in the news. It's because the shooter's not white. He's not a Trump supporter. Didn't have an AR, so they wanted to bury that story really quick. Then we got a video titled SCOTUS Dusts Off Rarely Used Wartime Law to Stop a Trump Promise. Again, just stifling this mass deportation, doing everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen. it's starting to become clear why they all let 25 million illegals into the country. It's because they knew that it would be fucking difficult to get these people out of the country. So it seems like their plan is going right to agenda here. Then we got the last little bit of the news titled Lefties Losing It. This episode's titled Trans Activist Gross, just J.K. Rowling attack. I don't really understand that title, but either way, it's Lefties Losing It. Watch a bunch of lefties losing their marbles. Why not? Then we will be doing an unboxing. I have a surprising amount of gifts here that we're going to be unboxing. Then we will be opening today's door from the advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. Then we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled Uncles Will Be Uncles. And our official funny video of the day is titled The Purpose of Dad Jokes. All of that's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see how you hooligans are doing today. Let's see. What is up, everyone, over on jeffmaclive.com. What's up, Alistair? What's up, Guessum? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Tin Man? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Russell? What's up, Matt? What's up, Jay Spray? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. Russell, I enjoyed the protest walk you did Saturday. Well, I'm glad you dug it, Russell. I don't know why it was so glitchy. First time using Rumble Studio, it was all right. On my end, it looked clear. It also looked farther away. When I went to watch the replay, we're zoomed in a lot more than what it looked like on my phone, and it was pretty glitchy. Either way, I'll try and do better for the next one. It was my first time doing it, so of course we had hiccups, but either way, glad you enjoyed it, Russell. What is up, everyone, over on Rumble? Snooks, I think you were first today. I appreciate everything you do for us, Snooks. What's up, Wolf? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Rappy? What's up, Too Old to Care? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy freedom. Let me see. What's up, Tony Brez? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Elder Zoomer? Appreciate you being here. You guys are waiting on me. What's up, Puffin Stuff? What's up, H-Bic? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Stoner? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Kevin? Guess you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Bill Clay? What's up, Cody? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Winston? Appreciate you being here with us. What's up, Wayward? Happy freedom to you. Make sure we get everybody. What's up, J-Dog? What's up, Break a Leg? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Make sure you hit that like button. See if you can get us on the front page of Rumble. And what is up, everyone, over on Kick? What's up, Viola? What's up, Meta? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone, over on Twitch? Matt Rogers, you are omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Tony Rich? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone, over on the communism platform? Matt Rogers, you were first and you're omnipresent. What's up, Toy Mafia? Happy freedom. What's up, Little Ripper? What's up, Tara? What's up, Mike Ingalls? Guess you are omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Lily? What's up, Melba? Happy freedom to you. Wayward, you are omnipresent. Let's see. What's up, Agent O? Appreciate you, Tony Rich. What's up, Tex Vet? Happy freedom. And what is up, everyone, over on X? Klaus Daniels, you coming to work today? You're a good boy. Tony Rich, Wayward, you guys over on X, appreciate you guys being omnipresent. All right, hooligans, let's go ahead and get into things. Klaus Daniels. Like I said, we're going to be starting off with this video titled YouTuber Held Overseas After Diet Coke Left on Tribe's Island. That's nice and vague. Like I said, this is some tribe of individuals that have no contact with the outside world. And some YouTuber tried to take advantage of the situation to make content. It's coming up, but first I want to remind you, hooligans, we have these Golden Age t-shirts. Now, we will have a new design coming soon. I just had a busy weekend, unfortunately, but it's okay. Either way, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have the opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, stickers, dog tags. We've made cooking aprons out of this design. Today I got on the I'm an American and I do not comply t-shirt. We got lots of items and lots of designs over on the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chats while we're watching this first video.
New developments in the case of a 24-year-old American YouTuber arrested after visiting an off-limits island in the Indian Ocean, hoping to establish contact with a reclusive tribe. Take a look here. That tribe, the Sentinelese tribe, seen in that video provided by Survival International. So that YouTuber, Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov, has been ordered to stay in custody with another court date and chance for release now set for April 29th, so later on this month. The Scottsdale, Arizona man was arrested March 31st, 2 days after he set foot on the restricted territory of North Sentinel Island, trying to meet the reclusive tribe. Local officials say he left a can of Diet Coke and a coconut as an offering for the tribe, then shot video of the island on his camera and collected sand samples before returning to his boat. A senior police officer explaining there was a violation of Indian laws and meeting the tribe could actually endanger their survival and his. The tribe last made headlines back in 2018 when they killed a 27-year-old American missionary who was trying to enter their territory to preach Christianity. The tribespeople there shot him with arrows as his boat approached that island. Polyakov could face 5 years in prison, we're told, and a fine as a result of all of this. Now, I do want to discuss a little bit more about the tribe itself, what we know and what we don't know. Sophie Grigg is the Asia Campaigns Director over at Survival International, joining us now to discuss. Sophie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and provide a little more context about all of this here.
No, it's a pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so first off, I do want to ask you, can you kind of break down for me your thoughts overall when you hear that this whole situation has even happened?
Well, my first thoughts were of absolute terror for the Sentinelese people, because it's incredibly dangerous to have somebody go and try and make contact with them. They are incredibly vulnerable to disease because they have no immunity to outside diseases because they're uncontacted. And that means that they don't have any contact with anybody outside their community. And because of that, they have built up no immunity, and it's really common for uncontacted peoples to be really devastated by diseases when with even the briefest of contact. The Great Andamanese tribe who live on the other Andaman Islands, they were decimated. 99% of the tribe was wiped out by disease when the British arrived.
Can you kind of tell me a little bit more? As we discuss this tribe, not a lot of people have heard about it, and you touched on this already, but can you describe for me a little bit more about the tribe itself, who they are, and again, what we know and don't know?
Yeah, and of course, what we don't know is much greater than what we do know. So we don't know how many there are. We think probably about 150 people, maybe a little bit more. We know that there are hunter-gatherer people, so they and we know that they rely a lot on and they fish in the waters around their territory. They have small boats that are very narrow, only wide enough to just put 1 foot in, which they use just in the areas around the island. They also will hunt wild boar and collect in the forest. We know that they do live in small lean-to houses where each one has a fire, probably for each family. But there's so much we don't know. We don't know what language they speak. We don't know how many there are. And we don't know how much devastation has been caused in the past by people going onto their territory. It's banned, as you said, it's illegal for anybody to go there. But we know there have been, the British went in the past and actually kidnapped a group of Sentinelese people. 2 of them died almost immediately, as often happens with uncontacted people, because they have no resistance to pathogens. And then they returned the children. And we don't know, that could have also, triggered an enormous epidemic amongst the people. So we don't know how much they've suffered in the past from this, but we do know that they're absolutely resistant to contact. So when people go and try and land on their territory, they usually warn them first with arrows and then they shoot them. And that's what happened with John Allen Chow. The missionary that you mentioned, he went once and they fired an arrow at him to warn him off, and he retreated, and then he went back. And so that was when they shot him with an arrow. And so they're very clearly defending their island, and rightly so, because they are unlikely to survive if people land on their island like this guy tried to do.
Can you talk a little bit about the...
Okay, so from that point on, it just gets really redundant. They just keep saying the same thing over and over again. But they never answer any of my damn questions. Why do we even have that? Why do we have islands of people that have no contact with the outside world? What is the point of that? Because we don't leave anything alone. Every country on the planet, is occupied by America. We're everywhere. And they don't have a choice. Why do we got that? How many of those islands do we have? How come those people get to live without paying taxes? How come they don't have to pay to be there at all? No property tax, no income tax. They don't even have to make money. They get to just eat food and live. Nobody's bothering them. It's illegal to go bother them. Well, we have that. They are truly free. They're not forced to take vaccines. They're not forced to do shit. You are not allowed to even make contact. Why can't we be like that? You are not allowed to contact us. Leave us the fuck alone. Let us just be free. I just don't get it. I don't understand why we have that. And like I said, I watched the whole damn video and it gets real redundant after the 5-minute mark, saving you guys 3 minutes of nothing. But I just don't understand the point at all. Do we experiment on those people? Is it an experiment on its own? Just to see how they evolve? What is the point of that? I don't get it. I've seen stuff like this before, especially when old man Walter's uncle was eaten by cannibals. This kind of stuff got brought up. I wasn't really sure if we still had tribes like this. You hear about it, but you don't usually get to see it. YouTubers probably going to do some jail time, which good for them. It's kind of the side story to me, though. I don't understand the point of having islands like this. What was the point of them abducting a group of them and then turn around and bringing back their kids? And then they talk about how whoever it was, that country went and abducted a group of them. 2 of them died almost immediately. How? Like they were like, well, from pathogens. What, they came and smelt your breath and kicked the bucket? Is that what happened? How do you die immediately? Oh no, I'm not on the island. Jesus, take the wheel. Is that what happened? Like, I don't understand. This whole story is confusing as fuck. And I was like, yeah, let's start the day like this. Anyways, next up we got increased space travel leads to more than 130 million pieces of space junk orbiting the Earth. Like I said, I was talking about this the other day, but anytime you see a supposed live feed of space, you don't see any space debris. You don't see trash orbiting the planet, so I don't know. I have questions, more questions. But first, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about this mess. Snooks is the same in the Amazon. Some tribes still have never been found. I just don't understand why, though. There's a reason why. It's not because we're lazy. It's not because they don't have money for us to take. There's got to be a reason. We don't leave anything alone. Nothing. We leave nothing. Look at space, okay? There's nothing up there and we still go there. Like, there's got to be a reason why we leave these people alone. Heard yous are a Coke. Go big or go home. Show them one of the giant drone light shows. Yeah, I mean, I guess. They could just gave them an iPhone, you know? Guess I think it was actually filmed in Oakland. It could have been. It could have been. Alistair, I'd go declare myself a god and rule them all. Just kidding. I don't know. It didn't work out for old man Walter's uncle. What's up, Metal Mouth? Happy freedom to you. J-Dog, are they circumcised? I don't know. I wasn't looking that close in the video. Kevin, don't eat me, bro. J-Dog, that YouTuber probably gave them the coof with the Diet Coke. Yeah, it could have been. Could have been. That's what the news will say. They'll go out there and glass that whole island and be like, it was COVID. What's up, Dabs? Happy freedom. Kevin, that island needs a Starbucks. I mean, maybe. J-Dog, I want to join their tribe. They might let you. I don't know where the applications are. Pumpkin, they want to be left alone. I think most of us want to be left alone. What's up, Sage Pup? Happy freedom. Kevin, chase him with a lighter. That's terrible, Kevin. Wolf, we need to get the vaccines and Clinton Foundation over there quick. Time is everything. Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean. Why are they protected? Are we the experiment? Totally care. Hope they don't eat them. It'd be poison. Probably. They're like, ew, we don't eat vaccinated people. Break a leg, barbecue white people, yum. That's probably what they were saying. They refer to the YouTuber as the one that got away. Yeah. What's up, Amarain? Happy freedom to you. Amarain, oh, I most definitely want to be left alone. Yeah. I think most of us do. What's up, Mike T? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Girth? Mike T, things go better with Coca-Cola. Yep, that's their next ad. What's up, Killer J? Happy freedom. I want to live on that island. We need more islands and land like this. Absolutely. I didn't know we could reserve an island to be left alone on. It's a good idea. What's up, Patriot Roy? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Magic? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Fry TV? The Earth is not a spinning ball. NASA lies about space. Yeah, that's what they say. What's up, T. Lawton? I can never remember how to say your name. We'll just go with Orchids. Happy freedom, Orchids. What's up, Steve S? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Pyro? Happy freedom. Alistair, that's where the Matrix Central Server is located. The tribe is a distraction. See, now it's starting to make sense. It's all making sense now. That's where the Garden of Eve is. The Garden of Eden or whatever. Cat Daniels. I don't know what he did, but unfortunately I can smell that. Anyways, moving forward here. This next one, like I said, increased space travel leads to more than 130 million pieces of space junk orbiting the Earth. Well, I've been waiting for this video. Next thing you know, we'll see liberals actually talking about pollution instead of just climate change. Either way, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
More than 130 million pieces of space debris are orbiting Earth. As space exploration increases, researchers advise we need to clean up before the situation worsens.
As big as a discarded rocket or as small as a microscopic chip of paint, space debris is orbiting all around us.
Everywhere where humans have been going in space, we have been leaving behind space debris.
While exploring beyond our planet is exciting, there's concern over the lack of regulation around leaving junk behind. There's currently more traffic in the lunar region, the space between Earth and the Moon, than ever before. And researchers say leaving behind fragments of debris, no matter how small, can have major consequences.
We have a larger number of active spacecraft in space at the moment than ever before. This means they are flying relatively dense to each other. So we want to be aware, avoiding collisions, but also be aware that we're not littering and leaving the space debris behind.
In its latest space environment report, the European Space Agency found that more satellites are now being launched into space than are coming back down, and that agencies need to do more to lower satellites at the end of their mission. This will help them naturally re-enter the atmosphere, giving them a chance to be burnt up rather than stay in orbit forever.
Anything further out, where our GPS satellites are, where our TV satellites are, there's no mechanism bringing them down. They can stay there forever.
And it's not just the junk that stays in orbit that's an issue. In February, a SpaceX rocket fell to Earth, blazing a trail of fire through European skies, large pieces landing in forest across Poland. The flaming debris has forced many to question the safety of such missions on those of us looking up from down here on Earth.
Oh my gosh!
Nicolina Carufe, Sky News Weather.
Okay, space debris now going to be a problem. I've never seen footage of space debris. I've also seen videos where they claim that if you took a penny and you snapped it in space, that there's nothing to slow it down, that it will just continue to increase speed as it moves through the galaxy. So if we got millions of pieces of space trash floating around the planet, and then we got the ISS just kind of bobbing around out there, if you had this piece of debris go 500 miles an hour, it'd go right through the ISS. So you would think that this would be important to get rid of space debris. We don't hear about those problems. They don't talk about it. We had astronauts stuck in space for 9 months. Never spoke about the space debris. They were not like, well, we were sitting inside the ISS, shivering and shaking in fear of a quarter-sized piece of metal passing through the ISS quicker than the blink of an eye, killing all of us. You never hear anything like that. I think that's what makes people believe that space isn't real, is that there's always these like contradicting like factors that they always tell us or fail to tell us just at stories like this. So we'll see if we come up with some space programs. It sounds like a good way to blow some money. Maybe get a budget. We'll have NASA get a budget together for the space debris cleanup. We'll give them billions of dollars, and they'll go out there with the little tweezer things like the guys got on the side of the road when they have the inmates go clean up. You know, it's the long rod, and it's got the handle, you know, it's picking up trash and shit, and they just go out there and just bobble around and do all that in Hollywood on stage, I mean in space. And a good way to blow some doll hairs there. Next up, criminals using $20 distraction tactic to scam victims. Like I said, this is actually a stupid issue, but considering so many people are being duped, I figured maybe we should raise some awareness to it. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about space debris. Guess space is real. They did an x-ray on AOC's head. I believe it. I believe it. Josh 1776, if they clean up, they're just going to launch a nuke in space and blast it away. Yeah. We don't ever do anything good. You know, we get all this money and then bad stuff happens. That's how it goes. Happy freedom to you, Josh 1776. Russell, the ISS has been hit by space junk before, but they can normally get out of the way. Are they out of orbit from the space junk? Is that why they don't get hit? Mac Daddy, happy freedom to you. Low Earth orbit. Much of the debris is in low Earth orbit within 2,000 kilometers or 1,200 miles of Earth's surface, though some debris can be found, I don't know what that word is, in geostationary orbit, 35,786 feet. This has been a thing for decades and decades. Yeah, I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. J Spray, Elon will be building a space garbage truck soon, creating jobs. There you go. They'll still be screaming to deport him, though. One of those signs that I walked past over the weekend said deport Elon. I don't know. It's racist if you say it, but not if they say it. I just don't understand that. Russell, there's no air resistance in space? Yeah. Alistair, oh look, new climate change propaganda. We need to clean up space. That's right. Send those protesters up there. They'll do great. They'll do great. Jay Spray, maybe they shouldn't use CGI in videos like this. Yeah. Why couldn't they show us a real video of space debris? Why did they have to give us an animation like Alistair's saying? Why did we have to have a false display there? Why couldn't we show actual footage? We go to space all the time. We don't see the space debris. Like, what about Katy Perry and them? Did they see space debris? They were in low orbit or whatever. They didn't have a real video for us? Pretty weird. Jesus, Girth. No, I don't think that's what it is. Metamouth, I remember Skylab. I've never heard of Skylab. Thank you, Snooks. I appreciate the compliment. Girth, I don't know about that. Girth's like, can you recycle dildos? I mean, maybe. Maybe. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Yes. Meow meow. You good boy. Yeah. Kevin, no, it would maintain the same speed unless acted upon, but by an equal or opposing force. Either way, it seems like it'd be a threat that we don't ever hear about. Told to care, wow, that cowlick hairdo? I missed it. Oh, everybody was realizing her hair. I can't read the chat while I'm watching the video because I realize that I can't pay attention to both. Wolf, I was just about to say, we sent 6 women up there and not one cleaned up anything. The entitlement. Well, they were just enjoying their day off, spending $1 billion doll hairs. Hair Juicer, there were deport Elon signs near our hotel over the weekend. 2 charter buses parked at the hotel. That's crazy, Hair Juicer. I was wondering if you had the pleasure of looking at protesters while you were doing your vacation thing. Yes, you can recycle dildos. It's called Jeff Bezos' rocket. Tin Man is tired of our bullshit, and I'll tell you that. That's all right. Meta. Something was wrong with Kick on Saturday. Watched the live on Rumble. It was great to see your smiling face strutting around an American flag. So Kick wasn't working either. I don't know. I need to try and use Rumble Studio a little bit more and get the kinks all worked out. It should have been smooth. I spent 2 hours setting up that live. I don't know why it was like that, but thank you for the feedback, Meta. What's up, Lisa? Happy Freedom. What's up, Rad Dude? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Cheeky Chops? What's up, Godzilla? What's up, Paradox? T-Long Klaus is looking good. Everybody was calling him fat on Friday. I told him it hurt his feelings a lot, but I can't lie to the poor cat, you know? Mana, doesn't the Vatican have a Lucifer telescope? I don't know. I don't know that kind of stuff about the Vatican. Fry TV, the ISS is also fake. I don't know much about it. I just report on it. What's up, Jim? What's up, TPP? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, neighbor guy? Space pollution? Shut up. I swear, it's a thing. That's what they say. Hey, I appreciate you, Michael. Thank you for being with us. Snooks, you saw me on Kick? Maybe it only worked for a little bit. I'm not sure. There's a couple things that Rumble Studio needs to work on. I was thinking about writing Rumble Rick. Like having to pull up a pop-up menu to flip the camera, that's too much of a pain in the ass. And to pull up that pop-up menu to then pull up the chat, and the chat takes up the entire screen so you can't see where I'm pointing the camera, that needs to be changed. I have some things I want to ask Rumble Rick, see if we can get some updates on the Rumble Studio. I'd like to do some more boots on the ground this summer if there's no protest, which would be fine if there's no protest. Those goofy assholes out there Saturday were a bunch of nothing. It was like visiting the old folks home. But at least we could go for flag walks. I just like it to be clear when we're live. Snooks, you saw it the whole time? Thank you for letting me know. Oh, I know, Tin Man. I'm just poking fun. All right, hooligans, we're going to go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, I don't think these kind of antics would trick you, hooligans, but maybe you know somebody that would be susceptible to this. It's titled Criminals Using $20 Distraction Tactic in Order to Scam Victims. So we'll just go ahead and raise some awareness here because nobody wants to get scammed. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Your lucky day. You're so lucky. You're full of luck. It's your lucky day.
No, it wasn't Sarah's lucky day. It was a setup for a classic $20 distraction scam. And by the time it was over, thousands had vanished from her bank account and her daughter's.
And this is the Ralph's I usually come to.
On Wednesday, April 16th, Sarah went to Ralph's grocery store on Satakoy Street and Louise Avenue in Van Nuys. As she was using her debit card to pay, a stranger approached her and said
that I dropped $20, and I said, no, I don't think I did. And I was putting my PIN into the machine, and he came much closer to me and was kind of pushing the $20 into my wallet. You need to back up. Back off.
It all happened in a matter of seconds. Sarah kept insisting.
And I'm like, no, this is yours. This isn't mine.
As Sarah walked back to her car, the same man, now joined by a woman, followed her, again insisting she take the $20. They continued to invade her space.
I knew it wasn't mine. The reason I was getting cash back was because all I had was a couple dollars.
Sarah left the parking lot feeling weird about the encounter. She checked her wallet to see if maybe they had taken any of her cash. They hadn't, but something else was missing.
My heart sank because my debit card wasn't there.
Within 30 minutes, the scammers made multiple withdrawals at Chase Bank several miles away. In total, nearly $5,000 was taken from Sarah's account and her daughter Jennifer's too, because their accounts are linked.
My money is gone and I had just gotten paid, you know, and I'm a teacher. I don't make a lot of money. I really don't. And what I make goes to the things I need, and we can't cover that right now. So it's hard to know that someone can take what you have so easily.
Jennifer filed a police report and shared the story online. She was stunned by the response. One after another, people commented the same thing had happened to them or their loved ones.
It's a huge violation, and, I just feel, like I'm looking over my shoulder everywhere I go. It just is horrible.
Unfortunately, the description of the suspects is too vague and security footage has not yet been released. If you have been a victim of a similar scam or you know anything about this case, contact the LAPD.
Okay, so like I said, I doubt, most of you hooligans would get duped by that practice, by some assholes there. But maybe you know somebody vulnerable like that, and I figured it'd be worth it to raise some awareness. Now, obviously, you shouldn't let strangers get that close to you. And I think most people know that. We just went through 4 years of standing 6 feet apart from each other. There was people trying to drive 6 feet apart from each other. So I think the first rule is do not let strangers get close enough to you for them to stick their hand in your wallet, your purse, your pocket, your nose, wherever they're trying to stick. Don't let strangers touch you. Okay, we'll just start with that. The other thing is most bank accounts have a security hold where they won't let you pull more than a certain amount out of an ATM. Like mine is like $400. So if something happened to my card and they, somebody took it and tried to use it and just magically knew the PIN number and all of that, they couldn't pull more than $400. It just won't let them. Doesn't matter if they go to multiple ATMs or anything. I tried to buy a car one time. This is actually how I found out. And this is what I mean. It usually just happens automatically when you make a checking account or a savings account or whatever it may be. They usually have security things put in place by default. I went to buy a car from my buddy. I needed to pull $600 out of the bank because I was short. I pulled $400 and it wouldn't let me pull anymore. And I kept trying and it locked my account. So then I had to wait the whole damn weekend to go back Monday and do the whole song and dance there. And I didn't understand why. They told me it was a security measure. And I guess it's really common. I've talked to a lot of people over the years about locking their cards or being restricted to a certain amount of money that they can pull out. The only way that you can exceed that amount is if you were like paying a business, not withdrawing cash or trying to get cash back. And so you want to make sure you got that on your bank account, first of all. Second of all, don't let strangers get that damn close to you. And I think you'll be good. But like I said, it's not really about us. We're pretty smart hooligans over here. But in case there's somebody vulnerable in your life that may be susceptible to these kind of practices by criminals, maybe enlighten them or even send them the video. As you guys know, within 24 hours, usually you can find the receipts for all of these videos. You can grab the links, send them to your loved ones, send them to your enemies if you want to, and just kind of inform people about the videos we watch. Anyways, next up, we have Pope Francis dead at the age of 88. Now, like I said before, I don't know a whole lot about Pope Francis or any of that. I don't necessarily believe in this kind of stuff and popes and all that, but that's my own personal belief. You guys be mad if you want to. You believe in what you want to. But they're going to give a summary about Pope Francis. They're going to talk about him in all kinds of fashion, things he did, things he didn't do, things he liked, things he didn't like, such as President Trump. I guess he did not like Trump, but he was a big fan of Obama. He also was standing up for gay people and other stuff. So like I said, you think what you want to. But this is going to be our little deal on Pope Francis here, dead at the age of 88. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about these dusty scammers out here. Russell, stay at least 6 feet apart from anyone that's farting. I try to do the 10 feet rule. I can't hardly smell or taste anything. It's been that way for over 3 years now. But if I smell a Skippy, you're standing too close to me. That's all I know. Don't be ripping no Skippies near me. 10 man, it's good to have that on your checking account. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass when you try to buy a car, but it's good if somebody tries to steal your account. Russell, I locked my account when I found out my ex-wife did bad things until I got her off the account later that day. Yeah, I've heard of that a lot too. People calling in and saying, hey, my card's been stolen, and they lock your account, and that way if you have a joint account, there's no card access. They got to show up in person. 10 man, the Pope push woke ideology. That's why a lot didn't like him. Yeah. Josh 1776, they probably saw her pin when she was pumping gas. I think she said when the story started that she was near the ATM and they kept getting really close to her and that they were watching her use the ATM. So I assume that's what they were talking about, kind of alluding to that's how they got the PIN number, but otherwise I don't really know. Jay Spray, why is a 40-something-year-old sharing a bank account with their mom? There's probably a lot of reasons, but they're probably not good reasons. I bet laziness is a part of it, and maybe lack of independence, either by the mom or by the daughter, one or the other. It probably struggles with being independent. That's all I could really assume. Russell, I got a 45 saying that ain't going to happen. Yeah, exactly. Josh 1776, why didn't Chase verify the identity like they're supposed to? It's a good question. I don't have a Chase account, so I've never had to deal with them. Alistair, she left the debit card when she freaked out and left. Yeah. That's what I think too. They don't directly say that, but I think that's what happened too. I think she left the debit card behind, trying to get away from those guys. Sage Pup, Pope Francis was the only pope who brought pagan idols to the Vatican. Yeah, I could see that. They mentioned throughout this video that's coming up that he was very much against tradition, that he was constantly breaking tradition, which sometimes is good. We see President Trump doing a lot of things that are kind of out of the ordinary, but from what we could tell, it's changed for the positive. Pope Francis, on the other hand, the waters were more murky than that. Pumpkin, I share my mom's account because I pay bills for her. Yeah, I could see that. What's up, Disco? Happy Freedom. Amarain, my bank refunded the $200 that was taken out, got me a new debit card, and now I have notifications anytime my card is used. That's how mine is too. I get notifications anytime my card is used. They want to validate if I actually made those purchases and stuff. What's up, Elisa? Happy Freedom. Rappy, stranger danger. Absolutely. Told to care, bad breath keeps people away. It's my mean face that keeps people away. Me and my dad got the same face. I didn't understand until I got older. Like I tell you guys all the time, people won't even stand in the same aisle as me at Walmart. I don't know, they just won't. I like it though. I like my free space. The other thing that scammers are doing now too that they didn't even talk about in that video is a lot of us have tap to pay now, where our cards have a microchip in it and you can just tap the pump, or you can tap it on a cash out kiosk thing or whatever, making purchases and whatnot. Sometimes it requires you to type in a PIN. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure what dictates that. But because of that, scammers can also get these devices from the internet where you just simply walk past somebody and maybe they shoulder check you and, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to bump you. And really they just scanned your purse. And all your tap cards just got logged. Now they got your numbers and stuff like that. They can run it as credit where they don't have to use your PIN number and stuff like that. And if you don't pay enough attention to your stuff, they could wipe you clean and not have no money left. You won't even realize it till the next time you go to use your card. So the moral of the story is don't let people get too close to you. Pumpkin, shame on them for stealing those from those women. Absolutely. Absolutely. To me, it feels like it's another form of cybercrime. You're using digital crap to steal from people. I don't know. People who steal and do all scammers, they're a bunch of lowlifes. What's up, Free Thinking Texan? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, DEFCON? Happy Freedom to you. DEFCON, if she took it out as cash, she lost all that money. Yeah. Meta, 3 feet away, personal space. That's right. Meta, how did they scam her? They claimed that she had dropped a $20 bill. They kept trying to stick it in her purse, in her wallet. And while they were doing that, they were basically had access to all of her stuff. They kind of implied that's how they took the debit card, was they were sticking that $20 in her purse, and they kind of alluded to them snatching that debit card and running. But some of us in the chat feel that while she was panicked and pressured and overstimulated by this engagement. She probably just left the debit card in the ATM. Thank you so much, Pag, for continuing the membership program over on Kick for 8 months. You're officially a hooligan. And I appreciate you. Thank you. What's up, A-Quest? Happy Freedom. I'm doing all right. How are you doing? What's up, Danger Zone? Happy Freedom to you. Danger Zone, this is the Pope that moved a bunch of pedo priests around after they got in trouble. Yeah, and that's no good. They do kind of bring something up. I think it's this video. I watched like 3 videos on the Pope before I chose one to be on the schedule. We'll see. I want to say they mentioned that somewhere in this video. What's up, Shenanigans? Happy Freedom. JD Vance saw the Pope 4 hours prior. He asked the Pope if he said thank you. That's what did it? No, he didn't get the Zelensky treatment. I mean, maybe he did, but I don't think that's what caused him to kick the bucket. He was already having health problems. Wayward coupon scams are becoming big. You scan a coupon accompanied by a card. Boom, your money is gone. I believe it. I park 3 car lengths away from others at the drive-up ATM. I give space. I'm the same way. I don't get too close to people. Even when I go to Walmart, I park out all by myself. And that way people and their carts and the lack of them putting them where they go and all of that, I'm unaffected by other people, their kids, their old relatives. I am safe from people. Thank you, Snooks. I appreciate the compliment. Russell, he said dictates. I did do that. 10 man, I laughed when you told Jeff Mack to give WMM kisses while doing the flag walk. You're silly. Yeah, I forgot about that. He just brought it up. WMM is like, no, we're not doing that. So come on, man. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next video. Like I said, Pope Francis dead at 88. But before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. Now, we did not do Coffee with Hooligans on Saturday, so we are going to have a ton of memes this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, like I said, let's get into this. Pope Francis dead at the age of 88.
As the first non-European pope, the former Jorge Bergoglio of Buenos Aires, Argentina, became a historical figure, rising through the ranks of Catholicism, from Archbishop of Buenos Aires to being a member of his church's governing board, the College of Cardinals. Bergoglio always maintained a common touch. In 2013, following the surprise abdication of Pope Benedict XVI, the College of Cardinals elected Argentina's Bergoglio as the new pope.
Buonasera.
4 months after assuming the throne of St. Peter, he stunned many Catholics by seeming to reverse his church's traditional position on homosexuality. Quote, "If a gay person is in search of God, who am I to judge them?" he told reporters on his official airplane before quickly backtracking from that position. Pope Francis also continued to apologize to the families of children abused by pedophile priests in what was inarguably Catholicism's biggest scandal. In 2016, he hinted strongly that then presidential candidate Donald Trump was not a Christian because of his support of a wall along the border. The audience with Trump when he became president did not go well, but Francis did have cordial meetings with Barack Obama and Joe Biden. He challenged the Trump administration in its opening days, nominating Robert McElroy as Bishop of Washington, D.C., a vocal critic of the new administration, tasked with pushing the pontiff's vision in the U.S. Capitol. Francis himself frequently criticized the immigration policies of President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. In 2023, in one of the rarest scenes in 2 millennia of Catholic Church history, Pope Francis presided over the funeral of his predecessor, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, bringing an end to a saga of 2 living popes living within the walls of Vatican City. The Pope, battling several health issues himself later in life, persisted through personal and global turmoil, praying for peace in Ukraine and calling on Moscow and Kyiv to negotiate, while establishing a Vatican peace envoy to assist in the efforts. He insisted that the Catholic Church was open to everyone, but he continued to try to thwart the efforts of traditional Catholics to worship in the Latin Rite, used by the Church for 2,000 years, in favor of the vernacular Mass, more in use since the 1970s. It kick-started a series of events over the coming years that would pit progressive members of the Church against traditionalists, such as suggesting it may be possible to bless same-sex unions, again extending a hand to the community, much like he did years before. Francis also opened up the Church to women, significantly increasing the Vatican's female workforce, including in high-ranking positions.
His final acts, however, focused on securing his legacy as a liberal reformer whose worldview lives on after his passing. And his successor is tasked with taking on these sensitive issues. And with over 70% of voting-age cardinals appointed by Francis, the next pope will likely share his vision for the Church.
In the days following Pope Francis's death, there are those who will call for him to be canonized. In other words, to be made a saint to be prayed to. Others will declare him a heretic. As in life, there is very little middle ground. He will surely be remembered as a spiritual leader of consequence, and one whose career was shrouded in controversy. In Vatican City, for Newsmax, I'm Alex Salvi.
Okay, Pope Francis there. I don't know what to say about any of that. I just don't. I can't believe that they even said this stuff at the end. Oh, well, they're trying to figure out if he's going to be a saint or not, where people will pray to him. What Bible are you reading out of? You're supposed to pray to God. You're not supposed to idolize anything else. It's supposed to be just God, not Pope Francis. Like, why would you pray to Pope? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Crazy. I hate getting into religion because everybody's got their own beliefs, and that's great and all, but that's a stupid ass thing to say. You know, pray to my cat. He takes big dumps. Like, what? I don't know. I don't get that. Pope Francis didn't create you. I don't know if he shit out kids or not, but whatever. That whole idea is something else. Anyways, next up, China warns nations not to make trade deals with the U.S. China don't like this little tariff war and the way it's going, so now they want to try and influence others not to buy and sell with us. We'll see how that goes. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Pope Francis dead at the age of 88. Let me check it out. Snacks. Homeless, you think I'm European? Do you guys see this? It's so ridiculous. I love when people show up and they're like, this guy looks Russian. Somebody asked me if I was Jewish on Friday. Like, I don't know. People are so stupid. I don't know how you see with your head so far up your ass. Alistair, not judging, but I never understood Catholics pray to statues and saints. What happened to thou shalt not or shall make no other gods except me? Yeah, Alistair, I don't know. I do know some things, but I'd rather not say it and get in fights in the stupid chat. When I was a chaplain, we were taught to be Bible believing, like in that path. It's like not even necessarily being Christian, it's just Bible believing. And that's it. And so things like, what do they call it? Everybody waits for this. And they show it in Catholicism stuff all the time. I can't think it's not the redemption. I can't remember what the hell it's called. There's a day where everybody gets sucked into the sky. And if you don't go, then you're not one of the chosen ones. You're not one of the elect and whatever. That is not even in the Bible. And there's a lot of people that believe that's a real thing. That is not in the Bible. So I don't know who spread that lie or why they believe it. The other thing is to buy pieces of the cross and stuff. Sometimes you'll see people selling chips of wood and the money goes towards the church or whatever. And it's supposed to be like you're buying pieces of the cross, or sometimes it'll be nails and stuff like that's not in the Bible. There's all the little dribble water on your face. Jesus was laid down underwater. He was submerged in water when he was baptized. So I don't know where the little dribble on the face comes from. That's not really baptism. And so unless you were laid to rest and came back reborn, if that didn't happen, That's not a baptism. And so it's like, again, I don't want to debate all this stupid shit. I fucking hate arguing with it because I don't give a shit. I don't like religion. I like having a relationship with God. That's what actually benefits you. That's what you're taught in the Bible, to have a relationship with God, not to go to a pagan building with an icon on top of it and to do the same song and dance every day and to have people tell you what to wear, what to dress, how to style your hair, do this, that, and the other, or else you can't play Clubhouse with us. That's a bunch of bullshit. You're supposed to have a relationship with God, and that's it. And the way you bring people to God is with your relationship with God, not condemning them, not saying, oh, you got hand tattoos, you're going to hell. That's not how it works. And that's what pushes people away from God, is religious people. So again, I don't want to argue with a bunch of people and all of that stupid shit. But yeah, it's weird, and all religion is like that. The only thing that's kind of hands off is with you and your relationship with God. Nobody can condemn that or critique it or do anything about it. It's your relationship. They want to talk about your clothes, your hall pass, your bullshit, what building you go to worship in. That's all. That's Clubhouse. And so I try to stay away from Clubhouse. I just worry about me and my relationship with God. And that's it. And everybody else can do whatever they want to do. The rapture. Thank you, Alistair. That is what I was talking about. Yeah, the rapture's not real. And the end of the world takes 200 years. So everyone's like, oh no, what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right, and that's how you know you're in the end of times. Everyone's like, great, I'm not paying taxes this year. Nah, you're going to have to. It takes 200 years for us to get to the end, and you're either a part of the elect or you're not. And that's it. And so, I don't know. I don't worry about that stuff. Keep my own ass out of the fire. That's all I worry about. Russell, the Catholic Church needs another Jean Paul. Who is Jean Paul? Jay Spray, Trump's not Christian because of the wall. Knock down the Vatican wall. And I want to see what's in the basement. Yeah, Jay Spray. I mean, I kind of want to see what's in the basement, but then you think about the 500,000 missing children from the human trafficking that took place over the last 4 years, and then you kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to see what's in the basement. Send Tom Homan over there to see what's in the basement. Matt Rogers, the Vatican has like 60-foot walls. F that guy. Yeah, for real. Guess some little altar boys running around the basement. Stop that. What's up, Neon Love Machine? Happy Freedom. Elder Zoomer, I think the world did end in 2012 and nobody noticed. Could be. It could be. China or some country was saying that we were going to pass into another dimension back in 2012 when we were all going to kick the bucket and all of that. I wonder if that actually happened. Because, man, people got really stupid after that. Ghostly, Jesus said to pray in private, to fast in private, and to have a private relationship with God. Yep. What's up, Tree Herder? Happy Freedom. What's up, J-Dog? Happy Freedom to you. J-Dog, you got to follow the chain of command. You can't just go to the big guy first. Nah, I tell the big guy fart jokes and everything else. Me and him is buds. I do. I tell him jokes all the time. Nobody else is doing that. Got a whole world full of people going, God, please help me. Please give me money. Please pay my rent. Please do this and do that and do this for me. And that's all they ever do. I'm like, hey, God, I got a good one for you. Got a knee slapper here. And that's it. I mean, yeah, I talk to God when I got problems, but I talk to God when I ain't got problems. I wish other people were like that. You know, like I say all the time, everybody wants to live in a good world, but not everybody wants to be a good person. And that's a part of it. No, I hate when people call me and all they do is got problems. Tell me something funny. Tell me something. Give me something instead of trying to always take from me. And that's how I feel bad for God because of that. You ever felt bad for God? That's what I mean. You got to have a relationship with God. You can't just be, he's not the grocery store. You don't just go there to take and take and take. You got to have a relationship. You got to give. You got to give. And sometimes I do that. I feel bad for God. That's why I say bless God. Because ain't nobody ever saying that. No one's ever blessing God. Everyone's always asking God to bless somebody else. Well, bless God. You know, I don't know. Anyways, you guys are going to have me preaching. What's up, Kilgore? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Trig Crazy? Happy freedom. I was just asking about you the other day. Trigger Crazy Corinne made it into the press briefing room at the White House, and you weren't even here to see it. It was crazy. I'm so jealous. Told the kid, Jeff's American. Yeah, I am. I should have beer and guns and shit sitting around, but nah, obviously that's a crime. Don't do that. But I'm just saying for these goofballs that think I'm European. What are you in the bathroom, European? Free the Texan, Jeff's a Nazi. Somebody called me a Nazi the other day. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like jawed. I was just I was stuck. I was just stuck getting called a Nazi. Like, can't believe it. What's up, Mary Todd? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tori Wayne? Happy freedom to you if I can get you already. Ghostly, yeah, beer and guns. Can't have beer and guns together. It's a crime. Not supposed to. Winston, did J.D. Vance kiss the Pope's ring Sunday morning? Poison lip conspiracy? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see if I can find video on that. Hair juicer, 2 eagles flying over me right now. They're screaming the stereotypical noise. Are they really? See, the eagle cry, I don't know if I got it on this screen. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually a hawk, but that's how most of us perceive the eagle screech. Eagles actually sound like seagulls. Which are you hearing, hair juicer? Are you hearing like the screech that I just played, or are you hearing seagull noises? Alistair, Mandela effect is picking up speed and frequency in the past 5 or 6 years. Yeah, Alistair, and it's funny because I don't want to say that, but yeah, that's what I think too. I think the whole Mandela effect is because of what happened in 2012, but that's my own little conspiracy that I just hold near and dear to me. Alistair, first time I tuned in, the sound was off. I thought Jeff was a skinhead. Hit the volume and he's talking about something clearly not racist. Glad I stuck around. Well, I'm glad you did too, Alistair. See, when I had dreads, everybody thought I was Antifa. Now people think I'm a damn Nazi. I hate that. I'm going to have to draw dreads on my head. Mac Daddy, just a bunch of skeletons in the basement? I would not be surprised at all. Neon Love Machine, what happened in 2012? Everybody thought we were all going to die. Remember, it was the end of the Mayan calendar or whatever. So everybody was like, oh no, we're going to kick the bucket. It was kind of like Y2K all over again. Elder Zoomer, there's 2 hawks that live in my yard, and I hear that screech all the time. That's kind of badass, but probably not while you're sleeping. Drew Crazy is not my girlfriend. I don't know how Corinne got in the White House undetected. I have no idea. Information Warlord. I once ran away from a flock of seagulls. I ran so far away. I don't know if those are music lyrics or real fear. I grew up around seagulls, being in Ludington and all of that. Seagulls don't scare me, but you don't want them to poop on you. I know that. We were talking about that the other day, too. Elder Zoomer. They sleep at night. At night, an owl won't shut up. Yeah, they got a plethora of bird problems out there. Holy. Hey, thanks for being here, Rappy. Enjoy the rest of your day. What's up, Post Malone? Happy freedom to you. Pag, in my opinion, you can't buy your way into heaven. That's right. You can't buy your way into heaven. You can't work your way into heaven. There's no amount of work that gets you a pass straight through the gates. We're just going to throw this guy out. There you go. Rad dude, don't worry about fighting with the trolls. They're too dumb to know anything. You could write their name on a piece of paper. They'd be like, what's that? Like, just don't worry about it. I threw that guy out. Lil Ripper, the band Flock of Seagulls. I don't know if that's a real band, but it should be. Cheeky Chops, you need dreads. I can't grow them back. I'm beyond age. What's up, Vinyl? Happy Freedom. Everybody is a Nazi now. Yeah. A couple years ago, everybody was a racist. What's up, Mary Beth? Happy Freedom. A-Quest, chicken or pizza for dinner? Chicken. Because chicken's the good stuff. What's up, Corey Luca? Happy Freedom. Glenn has a video of his visit to the Vatican. Should be the first video. Gets a little creepy. Who really runs that place? I'll have to check it out, Corey Luca. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Grow Fire? Happy Freedom to you. Trigger Crazy. What's up, comrades? Over on the commie platform. Wayward. Now I want to know if the owl or hawk would win in a fight to the death. I don't know. I don't. I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know. I'd like to say the hawk would win, but owls, they're no joke. So I don't know. And they got skirts. Their legs like go up to their armpits and shit. You just don't realize it because they're full of fluff. I don't know. I don't trust owls. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one's China warns nations not to make trade deals with the U.S. It's like a toxic ex-girlfriend over here. Don't wheel and deal with the U.S. Nah, they're mean. They got that mean orange man running the country over there. Sure do. Hit the like button over on Rumble as well as the Commie Tube. And let's get into this.
Also, President Trump is warning countries against cheating to get around his tariffs. But China may be taking steps to interfere with trade talks between the U.S. and other nations. What is going on? Grady Trimble of Fox Business live at the White House. Hey, Grady.
Hey, good morning, Dana. China says that if the U.S. makes any deals at the expense of China, then it's going to, quote, take countermeasures in a reciprocal manner. And some experts are warning that Beijing could try to strike deals with European countries, for example, that are too good for those countries to refuse at the expense of the United States. But President Trump doesn't seem deterred from his plan, posting on Truth Social about the countries trying to reach agreements with his administration, saying, "It's good to see that the world knows we are serious because we are. They must right the wrongs of decades of abuse, but it won't be easy for them. But for those who want the easiest path, come to America and build in America."
I got a readout from Jameson Greer yesterday, and it looks like we're north of 15 now of legitimate, serious offers on the table. The thing I could say you could look for is that when we think a deal's really, really close, then my expectation is the president's going to want to meet with that world leader here in the White House in order to close the deal.
So we will be paying very close attention to which world leaders are coming to the White House in the not too distant future. And here's what the Trump administration is trying to address, or at least cut into: a $300 billion trade deficit with China. Administration officials say despite that number, the U.S. actually has the upper hand.
China imports 11.5 million barrels of oil a day. They import about 25% of the calories they consume every day. And so when we think about the U.S. and us as being a superpower, we're an energy superpower, we're a food superpower, and China is highly dependent.
And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who has been one of the leads in negotiating these new trade deals, he's meeting with his South Korean counterpart this week, I believe, here at the White House. So the wheeling and dealing continues despite these new warnings from China. Dana?
Grady, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I don't know. Sounds desperate. Trying to try to influence people. Oh, no, don't deal with them. Come deal with us. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. It looks weak. It looks weak. Next up, report of a second Pete Hegseth signal chat leak, a non-story, says the White House. Well, the Democrats are at it again, trying to attack Pete Hegseth. It never stops. It was tattoo. They've done the tattoos twice now because he's got a new tattoo like under his arm or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's nothing racist. But they try to say it was racist. Just like the crosses on his chest. He's got like an iron cross. They were like, oh, that's a Nazi symbol. Leave it to the people drawing swastikas on everything to call other people Nazis. I don't know. It takes one to know one, I guess. But either way, they're calling this Signalgate. They're claiming that this is the latest scandal from the Trump administration. This is colorful language coming out of the Democrat news. And we got a follow-up video, so we're going to play these back to back. The second video is Hegseth responding to the second Signal chat report. Again, this is propaganda. I'm just telling you right now, it's propaganda. If you believe it, then good for you. But I don't believe it. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. To me, it's full-blown propaganda. But this is what they're telling the normies. So when you go out into the world and you're wondering why people are arguing with you about Pete Hegseth, of all people, this is why. It's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about China looking real weak to the rest of the world. Guess we don't send enough food. That's why they're short. That's What do you mean? Yao Ming is like 11 feet tall. They're not all short. Come on, man. Man, 3 or 4 years ago, I remember hearing a CEO in China offed himself. China has been hurting for money for a while. Yeah, I keep hearing that. Alistair, you're all good with the links on the website. I don't want people spamming the chat or doing a lot of self-promotion in the chat. But on the website, you do your own thing. You don't have to worry about it. So you're all good, Alistair. That's etiquette for everybody else. Guess did he say they don't see a turd? Well, they can't find old man Walter. He's around here somewhere. Russell, China's backed into the corner like a rabid dog. Seems that way. They're looking weak. That's weak sauce. Meta, the left can stick that propaganda right up their pink sprinkled ass. That's right. Meta Mouth, just keep it going. It's all good. Ghostly, in fact, I'm 100% convinced that the left is trying to normalize Nazis. It could be. Think about what they did for racism. They cried racism for 4 years, claimed that everything you did was racist. It didn't matter what it was, who you hired, the places you shop, the clothes you wear, the words you use, the profile picture you got, what platform you like to do your social media on. It just equaled racism. But now look, I feel like racism is more alive because of that. Because the thing is they talk shit about racism. They make it like everything's racist. So what's the blowback? Well, everyone laughs about it. So therefore they portray more racism in the sake of being funny, just to have themselves a laugh. But if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, then it might be a duck. So now you see people being a little bit more openly racist in the sake of being funny because of how ridiculous lefties are. Well, if you got the lefties calling everyone a Nazi instead of a racist, I kind of worry that the Nazism will increase as having a good laugh at the left. But like I said, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, you might think that's a duck. And look at how they treat Elon, right? Elon threw his hand in the air. I'm not going to do it. I know you guys want me to, but I'm not going to. Elon threw his hand in the air trying to throw his heart to the crowd. And for a month, they claimed that he was a Nazi doing a Nazi salute and this, that, and the other. But since then, how many people have you seen reenact that just either to display what Elon did or to make fun of the left? Now you got people really doing the Nazi salute as a joke. Now, it's funny in context. It's not funny out of context, though, because you got real people really doing, Nazi propaganda or whatever as a joke, but they're still doing it. So, I don't know. The left shooting themselves in the foot is what it seems, but maybe it's done strategically, like Ghostly's saying. Treat her infidel. What's up, Jack? Happy freedom? Jack smells desperate, too. Yeah. I think so. I think China is looking real weak when they go out there and they go, no. Don't go to our competitors that have better products, a higher quality of outcome. No, come to us. We'll get dirt cheap shit. And I don't know. That's desperate. Cody, China's asshole. You ain't wrong. For the Texan, you think China's scared? It could be. Pumpkin, China's being mean and they don't love us anymore. I know. That breakup was hard. It was hard. They didn't like it. Information Warlord, my money's on the owl. I'm reading through all these owl versus the hawk comments. Elisa, you need a glueless lace front wig twisted into dreads. I mean, I guess, Elisa. I don't know. I have a hard time wearing hats because I get too hot. I don't think I could wear a wig. But if you guys elect me president, we'll go ahead. We'll get the powdered wig, but it'll be dreads. And it will make our forefathers proud. It'll be a good time. Jack, China's going broke fast. Well, they signed up for it. Pumpkin, people of China are upset right now because there's no business. Yeah, and see, and that's the sucky thing, because I don't really feel like it's Chinese people's fault what their government does. That's kind of how we felt for the last 4 years. You're like, don't nuke us, Russia. Like, oh, just, old man Walter's making these choices. It ain't us making those choices. So, I kind of feel for the Chinese people, but their leaders, they're running their country into the ground. Shroomish, don't underestimate China. Back when Mao was the leader, he let millions and millions of people starve, partially because tariffs we had on them. Well, hopefully they don't do that. I'm kind of surprised that we don't try to liberate those people. It's probably laws against it, but you would think if we put tariffs on China, China gets mad, lets their people starve, then we go over there to liberate the starving Chinese people and just leave the government by themselves and whoever sympathizes with their leaders. There's probably laws against that, but it seems like something we would do. Russell, I don't think I can read that out loud, but yeah, that's a good one. Alistair, Elon is an African American Nazi. Yeah, they don't know what to do with him. Judge 1776, Elon's a Nazi. He hates free speech. I don't know if he hates free speech. X isn't exactly free speech, I will say that. Pumpkin, the CCP says the people hate the U.S. Well, and they might. That's how North Korea is. Because Kim Jong-un says, yeah, you guys are starving, it's because the U.S. You guys are poor, it's because the U.S. We don't have anything, it's because the U.S. And so their people just naturally hate us because they think all of their problems are our fault instead of their leaders' fault. And there is missionaries and people like that are constantly trying to wake up the people of North Korea. But it's difficult because that place is so isolated. So they try to send like balloons with one page from the Bible into the country, or thumb drives that have movies on it so people can watch movies and get a little bit of Americanism. But I don't know, that place needs to be liberated. Like they're killing their own people over there. I want to say we covered a story that was saying that North Korea was starting to allow tourists to go there as a way to make money. We covered it a month or two ago. Haven't heard anything else about it. I wonder how it's going. Cody, yeah, and us Americans are just drinking your milkshake. Yeah, us Americans, yep. Feel bad for those North Koreans. They really believe that stuff, but they don't have a choice. All they have is propaganda. Meta, I'm eating an orange sickle ice cream in honor of Trump. That's fantastic. I love that. The Orange Eagle would be proud. What's up, Rhyme Time? Happy Freedom. The more fuel you put in the fire, the bigger it grows. That's true. What's up, Bloopy? Happy Freedom. Bloopy, uh-oh, Trump's going down this time. Yeah, there's people in the chat during the flag walk saying that stuff. I think somebody left a comment. They were like, Trump's going down. What? Because the 14 old people standing out by the street Like, WMM realized that those cars that were honking driving by while we were boots on the ground for that little protest there, it was the same cars. They were just driving around the block. They'd drive through and they'd roll by real slow and honk their horn, and then they'd do a lap around the block. They didn't have as much support as they were trying to portray, but we already knew that. That's why we were making fun of them and all of that. Wayward, now I want to know if an owl or a hawk wins the fight to the death. I will have to see. Alistair was dropping links in the chat, so I don't know. I'll study it, and maybe I'll have some news on it tomorrow. Let me see where we are here. Yeah, we got this propaganda. Let's just get this over with, because they beat this story to death. And the way they talk about it, you would think they found the 500,000 missing children that's gone missing over the last 4 years while Biden had the border wide open. Once again, this is titled "Report of a Second Pete Hegseth Signal Chat Leak as a Non-Story," says the White House. Now, they're going to be referring to this as Signalgate, which is real scary. They're also going to continue to use language such as scandal. This is a big scandal coming out of the White House. These people are so desperate to rile up normies and lefties to get all mad at the Trump administration. But like I said, we got two videos here. We got the whole big scary story about why Pete Hegseth is a big scary man. And then we got the follow-up where Hegseth responds to the second Signal Chat report. So let's go ahead and get this pulled up. This video is a little longer than I wish it was, but like I said, it's all propaganda. If you believe it, then good for you, but I don't. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommentTube, and let's get into this.
Tonight, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth under fire for reportedly sharing U.S. military attack details in a second Signal chat. The New York Times reporting that Hegseth shared detailed information ahead of airstrikes in Yemen last month in a private group chat that included some family members. And now the White House is reacting just about 15 minutes ago. And News Nation correspondent Libby Dean standing by at the White House. Libby, what is the White House saying?
So we're getting this first reaction out of the White House here to Signalgate round 2, and we're getting a statement from a White House deputy press secretary directly talking about this. And what they say is, quote, "No matter how many times the legacy media tries to resurrect the same non-story, they can't change the fact that no classified information was shared." And there, in that first part of the statement that you're looking at on your screen from Anna Kelly, the White House deputy press secretary, where she said that, she's referencing the first Signal scandal that we saw play out. Then this statement goes on, and Kelly says, "Recently fired leakers are continuing to misrepresent the truth to soothe their shattered egos and undermine the president's agenda, but the administration will continue to hold them accountable." Now, what Kelly is referencing there is those recent firings that we've seen happen at the Pentagon. 3 top officials fired. We know that one of them was, of course, a past spokesperson for the Pentagon, where we saw that play out. But this reaction from the White House, the first that we're seeing here, and noteworthy given the fact that they're not directly referencing what Pete Hegseth potentially shared in this. Now, all of this comes after that reporting from the New York Times. And what they're reporting is that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth included his wife and about a dozen other people within his personal and professional inner circle in a chat called Defense Team Huddle. That's what the New York Times is reporting. Now, News Nation has not been able to independently confirm that this Signal group chat existed, but this does come after that first Signal group chat, of course, that played out. You'll remember Signal.
Okay, I just want to mention really quick that they just admitted that they cannot validate that this story is even real. Anyways.
Signalgate, where Mike Waltz, Trump's national security advisor, did admit that he made this group chat and then put Jeffrey Goldberg, the Atlantic journalist, in that group chat. You're looking at those that message that was specifically from the defense secretary on your screen there, detailing these Houthi strikes in Yemen. And what the New York Times is reporting, Natasha, is that this second chat that is being reported was also about those Houthi bombing, those U.S. airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen.
Yeah, Libby,
so this is going to be something to watch for, as I mentioned.
Tell me more about that. What can we surmise about the timeline of this Signal chat compared to the one including the Atlantic editor? Was it at the same time? Was it before or after the last scandal that came to light?
So what the New York Times is reporting is that this happened back in March when this Signal group chat was made with Pete Hegseth and his family members. As for where that comes in the timeline with Mike Waltz and that Signal group chat, I'm trying to remember all the dates here as this is continuing to break. But this isn't a good look for the Trump administration as they were trying to quell concerns about that first Signal group chat. And now we're hearing about this second one that we're working to independently confirm here.
Yeah, and it sounds like we're getting a late night statement from them. The White House basically denying this and blaming it on disgruntled employees. This is not the story they wanted to start this week with, Libby.
Yeah, certainly not, Natasha. And I mean, this was something that they were trying to quell concerns about. And you'll remember that there was reporting that President Trump wasn't firing his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, because he didn't want to give the media something to point to, a scalp to point to when it comes to holding anyone accountable here, when it comes to using Signal as a means to discuss military operations. And you remember those congressional hearings that played out over the course of a week in response to this Signal group chat, and Mike Waltz and Pete Hegseth and everyone who's included in this group chat. You'll remember there were 19 people in this group chat, and even Trump's chief of staff was included in that group chat. Now, we haven't seen, and the vice president, you're looking at those chats there. We don't know the details of who was included in this second group chat, but it's likely that this is going to be the focus of things in Congress in the coming week as well. This is going to be a headline because we know many Democrats are already calling for Pete Hegseth to be fired over this.
We will have to see how this unfolds. Libby Dean on the breaking news for us tonight at the White House. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to join and...
We're calling for Pete Hegseth to be, to be kicked out because of this. Oh, yeah. Have him impeached. We can't validate this actually happened. We can't confirm that anything we're saying is actually true. But believe us, just go ahead and do what we say. Be as scared as we tell you to be. Literally can't validate any of it. They have no sources. They heard that the New York Times could have sort of put a press out like that. And so that's what they're going with. They can't validate it, though. They tried. We were unsuccessful. But here's the propaganda anyways. May, could, might. It's a real thing. I really think we need to come out with T-shirts. It's may, could, might. They may do this. They could do this. They might do this. But nobody actually knows. There's no validation at all. Just make sure you're real scared. Just be real scared. Go get that toilet paper before somebody else does. I don't know, these goofy-ass people. Like I said, we got to follow up here. Hegseth responds to the second Signal chat report that apparently can't be validated. So stupid. These people are so stupid. Listen to the language when Democrats talk. I said this Friday. If you're around people that care more about the words you say than what they mean, probably a Democrat. If they're a big fan of news that may, could, might, they're probably a Democrat. It's very simple. Either way, we're going to hear Pete Hegseth respond to these accusations. Again, we can't tell that there's any merit to it, but we'll leave it to the DEI people to tell us what merit is. So anyways, hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
How's the Easter egg roll, sir?
Hey, we're happy to be here at the Easter egg roll, I'll tell you that. Here with the family, beautiful day. And President Trump is changing the country. And he's creating opportunities for families all across America to better their lives. And that's what Make America Great Again is all about.
Do you have anything you want to say, sir, about the Signal chat controversy?
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. And on hoaxes, time and time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because, you know, this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group, this group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with axes to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know it, we know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing for the president fighting hard across the board, and I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much.
President, sir? Have you spoken to the president?
Have spoken to the president, and we are going to continue fighting on the same page all the way.
Sir,
All right, everyone. Let's go.
Poor little kids. They're like, why are these crazy people talking to my dad? It's Easter. Anyways, like I said, propaganda. They're calling this Signalgate, and it is a scandal coming right out of the White House. Where was all that language when old man Walter was running? He had classified documents. He had all the bad stuff with Hunter Biden, where Hunter Biden was peddling influence or connection with old man Walter, right, to get in contact with Joe Biden. And Jim Jordan, and I can't remember the other guy's name, they were constantly going after Joe Biden, claiming that they were going to impeach him, that they were going to hold him accountable, that he was going to stand trial. And they declared that Joe Biden was unfit to stand trial. He was fit to run the country, but he wasn't fit to stand trial. He was unfit to be held accountable for his actions. Where was all the scandal talk then? There was no scandal coming out of the White House then. Oh no, but this supposed Signal chat leak, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. That stuff doesn't make any sense. This just looks like desperation. That's it. Now, I don't know if they're trying to give a break to Garcia. Garcia, the MS-13 gang member, woman beater, illegal that was in the country. He's now spending his time in El Salvador at the Supermax. We had Senator Dumbass Von Holly or whatever go visit Garcia to make sure he's still alive, because the lefties are telling people that El Salvador's Supermax is actually a death camp, that they're just holocausting those people out there, which is not true. And you could tell by Garcia still being alive and getting interviews and drinking margaritas like Boo Boo Kelly told him as he was trolling them on X. But this is what it is. I don't know if they're giving that a break for Garcia. I don't know if it's Carmelo Anthony needs a break from the news because, you know, he stabbed that other kid, Austin Metcalf, stabbed him in the heart, killed him at the track meet. And then the whole family stands up there talking about how they're getting death threats and their daughter can't even go to sleep and blah, blah, blah. And their son's such a sweet boy and all this other shit. So I guess they just gave that a break. They were like, okay, we're going to let that rest for a little bit and let's go ahead and start Signalgate. I don't think it's going to get the traction that they think it's going to, but either way, that was in the news today. Next up, Donald Trump unleashes an hilariously savage Easter message. This is a video about how President Trump spent his Easter. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Signalgate. Signalgate. J-Spray. Oh. Let me see here. Russell, and look, no shapeshifters showing their boobs for Easter. That's true. Yep. No fake tits out on the White House lawn. Not with a dude attached, at least. Snooks, Klaus is in need of you. Yeah, he's in need of me to crack a fancy feast. Pumpkin, Pete's okay. He isn't stupid. He's in Washington, and that is an irritant. Yeah. They can't do anything against Trump. They've said everything they could about the mean orange man, so now they're trying to attack the rest of the cabinet. Jack, why does every scandal start with a Democrat? That's a good question. That's a good question. Metal Mouth. It is significantly proven that kids can see through the bullshit. Yeah. Well, and kids shouldn't be exposed to the damn propaganda. Our news is so malicious these days. Ghostly, even the kid was like, look at this hoe. You're not wrong. Pumpkin, I like Pete's tattoos. Yeah, his tattoos are not offensive, despite what the left says. Happy Easter to you, Metal Mouth. Happy Easter, all of you hooligans. Cody would have, could have. Yep. And that's what they do. That's what Democrats do. The what if. Stupid. There's a whole life here for you to take advantage of. Why sit around going, what if? Information warlord. Anonymous sources say. Anonymous sources say AOC stole those teeth from a horse. What's up, Kirsten? Happy freedom. Kirsten, I don't know what that is. Quater made us sleep on a plane when pilots timed out. Would not even let the pilots get a hotel. That does not sound like a good experience, Kirsten. I appreciate you being with us. Told to care, pay attention. Those they don't attack just might be friends. That's a good point. Did they ever say anything bad about Pam Bondi? She's kind of questionable. Shroomish, it's about time. It's 6:40 here. It's definitely crack a beer time. Yeah, Alistair, that looks good. What's up, DeRosa? Happy freedom to you. DeRosa, what are you going to do when hoaxomania runs wild on you, brother? I'm saying, DeRosa. Meta, at the protest, they yelled, "You're brainwashed." People are funny. What's up, Southern Eagleman? Happy freedom. Rad, I think Trump made a bad choice with him. Who? Pete Hegseth? Why? I haven't seen Pete Hegseth do anything wrong. I mean, they keep bringing up the stupid signal thing, but at the same time, what was wrong with the signal thing? Does anybody even know? Because they don't talk about it. They just claim there was a signal leak. What did they leak? Oh, they leaked military information. They did? What was it? Well, we think, well, it may have been this. It could have been that. It might have been this. But what if? And that's all they do. They didn't tell us anything happened. They said that they believed that the location of the Houthi strike was put in the chat. They couldn't validate that actually happened, and the only person who said it did was a discredited journalist. And they've never verified it. It's been months now. They have not verified that actually happened. So then they just question, well, how did the journalist get in the chat? They also couldn't validate that. They couldn't validate that he was even in the chat. They even held Congress. They had meetings with Congress about this. Came down to nothing because they can't validate that anything was actually leaked. All they could validate is that they were using Signal and members of the cabinet were a part of it. And that's it. And there's no law broken. There's nothing wrong with that. And President Trump had told them that it was okay to have communications through the Signal app. Therefore, nothing bad happened. So here we are running over nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing bad actually happened. And here we are with Signalgate 2, a continuation of nothing happening. It's goofy. It's a bunch of nonsense. That, you know, like I said, if you guys believe it, then good, but I just don't. A-Quest, what happened to the good old-fashioned affair? Yeah, that stuff doesn't even matter anymore. They can't figure out what a woman is. Wayward, tell me more lies. Yeah, that's what Democrat voters do. They go looking for news, and they're like, I need someone to lie to me real good. Oh, thank you for letting me know, Snooks. J Spray, beers have been cracked. Very good. Oh, I see what you're saying, Kirsten. You be safe out there. What's up, CB Michigan? Happy freedom to you. Ghostly, have you seen the new Subaru ad? It's kind of based. No, I haven't. I will have to look that up. Let me put a reminder here. Now, of course, if it's really badass, I'll be rubbing it in your guys' face tomorrow. You guys are always shitting on Subarus. I love my damn Subaru, even though it howls like a banshee. Not in a sexy way either. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, President Donald Trump unleashes an hilariously savage Easter message. They're going to give some details on how President Trump spent his Easter on top of trolling the lefties on the internet. Go ahead and hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Donald Trump has unleashed this Easter, using his Easter message on Truth Social to slam all of his detractors while still backhandedly wishing them a happy Easter. He wrote, "Happy Easter to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting and scheming so hard to bring murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners, the mentally insane, and well-known MS-13 gang members and wife-beaters back into our country. Happy Easter also to the weak and ineffective judge and law enforcement officials who are allowing this sinister attack on our nation to continue, an attack so violent that it will never be forgotten. Sleepy Joe Biden purposely allowed millions of criminals to enter our country, totally unvetted and unchecked, through an open borders policy that will go down in history as the single most calamitous act ever perpetrated upon America. He was by far our worst and most incompetent president, a man who had absolutely no idea what he was doing. But to him and to the person that ran and manipulated AutoPen, perhaps our real president, and to all of the people who cheated in the 2020 presidential election in order to get this highly destructive moron elected, I wish you, with great love, sincerity, and affection, a very happy Easter." Online commentators were floored by the blunt messaging, with this person saying, "I had to check if that's the official account or not." This person agreed, saying nothing screams Jesus has risen like calling half the country lunatics. But not everyone saw the humour, with this person saying, "Trump followers, help me understand. How do you read Donald Trump's Easter message and think that it's okay? I'm a Jew and maybe that's not completely caught up on things Jesus, although Jesus was a Jew, but this message doesn't seem very Jesus-like." The POTUS backed up his savage Easter message with several more that were more palatable, underpinned by a return to Christian messaging.
On Easter Sunday, we celebrate his glorious resurrection and proclaim, as Christians have done for nearly 2,000 years, he is risen. Through the pain and sacrifice of Jesus on the cross, we saw God's boundless love and devotion to all humanity. And in that moment of his resurrection, history was forever changed with the promise of everlasting life. As we approach this joyous Easter Sunday, I want to wish Christians everywhere a happy and beautiful and blessed holiday. America is a nation of believers. We need God. We want God. And with his help, we will make our nation stronger, safer, greater, and more prosperous, and much more united than ever before. Thank you to everyone, and have a really happy Easter.
The president spent his Easter in true form, playing golf in Washington, D.C. with Elon Musk and friends.
Jump on eBay, guys. Oh, shit.
And whilst Joe Biden proclaimed Easter Sunday as a transgender day of visibility last year, Donald Trump has taken things back to basics this year, scrapping all distractions and focusing on the true meaning of Easter.
He had the audacity to make Trans Visibility Month a proclamation on the day of Easter. I can tell you here, under President Trump's leadership, there will never be a Trans Visibility Month. And on Easter, we will be celebrating one man, and that is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
This commentator agreed, saying, "This is the White House last Easter. Thank God the woke circus is over." Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt doubled down on this, communicating Trump's commitment to faith in the White House.
The president promised millions of Christians across the country on the campaign trail that he would create a White House faith office when he returned to the White House, and he has delivered on that promise. The White House Faith Office has put together an extraordinary week-long celebration currently underway for Holy Week ahead of Easter Sunday. The president signed a Holy Week proclamation, filmed a special presidential video message, and will be hosting a pre-Easter dinner tomorrow night and a White House staff Easter worship service on Thursday. The president and the First Lady are honored to continue the tradition of the White House Easter egg roll, which will take place on the South Lawn next Monday.
Joe Biden was a target of Donald Trump's savage Easter message, but online sleuths were talking about something even more bizarre, noticing that Joe Biden appears to be photoshopped into his family's Easter photo. This commentator said, "Why does Joe Biden look photoshopped in his family Easter photo?"
Well, mostly about President Trump and how he spent Easter. They tried to sneak Joe Biden in there, but nobody cares what Joe Biden did for Easter. Not at all. Either way, at least President Trump got to have some fun. He was trolling the lefties out there, and then he got to get some golf in. They never show Elon playing golf. Now, they claim that President Trump and Elon and friends were playing golf, but I don't think I've ever seen Elon with a golf club in his hand. I wonder if he's any good. Not everybody's just great at golf because they hang out with President Trump. They wouldn't even let me play. We'd get 2-3 holes in and they'd be like, all right, you drive the cart, because I'm just ass at golf. I enjoy playing golf. I'm just not good at it. I'm telling you, President Trump, he'd be like, wrap it up. You're going to carry the bags from here on out. He wouldn't even let me finish. There's just no way. Next up, we got some follow-up videos here for these school shooters. The one was easy to get. The other one they're trying to bury. First up, and we're not going to play these back to back, but next up we got Florida State University shooting. Former classmate describes accused gunman. They try to paint him up like he's a right-wing extremist. This is the individual who used his mother's firearm, had the Hummer that they had towed away, and all of that. Then the second video is the Dallas school shooter, and they don't want to talk about this story at all. This was hard to find a follow-up. But this is titled Dallas ISD Answers Questions About School Shooting. Last time we covered it, it showed the school. They were taking questions for a press briefing. They got a question about how did the student bring the gun in the school, because this is the second school shooting to happen at that very school. They upped their security. All they said is their security's airtight, and they didn't know how he brought the gun into the building, and then they refused to answer any more questions. They took 2 questions. That was the only one that we heard out of the 2. And their handler was like, nope, we're done. We're not doing any more questions or whatever. So I found a follow-up. It is a day or 2 old. But like I said, they're trying to bury the story. We're not going to get a follow-up at all. It's because it doesn't fit the narrative. But either way, all of that's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about how President Trump spent his Easter. Russell, the White House needs more stripper poles for entertainment. Yeah, but imagine what that would have looked like the last 4 years. They'd have all dudes and tits, and I don't know. It'd be not good. Shapeshifters swinging around the poles. That's enough. Drunk driving the cart. Is there any other way to drive a golf cart, Russell? You know? Alistair, that's what we need, a GOP swimsuit calendar. That'd be fun to put together. That would be something, Alistair. I don't know if they'll get that. We could make it, though. Russell, Trump is the boss troll. He is. A lot of people speculate if it's Barron running a lot of this stuff that we see from the Trump accounts. Jay Spray, in my opinion, it's confirmed the deep state, talking about Signalgate. Yeah, I think so too. Hair Juicer, Russell's mannerisms are rubbing off on you in all that stuff. Really, Hair Juicer? It happens. That's all right. Alistair, AI and face swap, here I come. Yeah, that Alistair phrasing. Where's Guessum at? He usually is quick on that. What's up, Nishada? Happy freedom to you. Ghostly, I got a hole-in-one once. It pissed everyone off really bad because I'm trash. Yeah, but that's what's so good about it, Ghostly. I got a hole-in-one disc golfing a while ago. It was like last summer or whatever. And I'm the same way. I'm trash. I'm the guy carrying the beer And I was actually talking. I was like yapping, and I threw the disc, and I was just da-da-da-da-da on my story, and he was like, ching, right in the basket, and everybody lost their shit, and I was still telling my story. They're like, you got a hole in one. I was like, oh, damn. You know, leave it to me to be yapping. That's what I do. Pumpkin Joe wandered off when they took the picture. Oh, I absolutely believe that. Told a carrier Trump should have worn rainbow underwear, dropped his trousers and bent over. Alphabet kids would have a reason for TDS then. That's some good trolling. That would be good. Who knows what they would say. They didn't peach him over that. Shout out Auto Pen for president. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's funny they don't talk about that anymore. President Trump was talking about how everything that Joe Biden signed that could have been signed with Auto Pen should be void. Now, we heard Trump talk about that, but there was no real official White House messaging saying that anything signed with the Auto Pen from Joe Biden's administration is void. So it was kind of unofficial, right? And then they stopped talking about it. And I really think it should be that way. Anything important that was signed with the Auto Pen when it should have been signed by Joe Biden himself, I think it should be void. But instead, it's just a joke now. We just joke about the Auto Pen, but I don't know. I think something should be done about that. Meta, cheers to you. Rad dude. Speaking of Easter, my grandma had posted on Facebook saying not to tell her Happy Easter and that she hates the word Easter more than the F word and that it's Insurrection Day, not Easter. That's rough stuff, Rad. I don't know why people get like that. You know, they get cynical, they get nasty, and then they wonder why nobody wants to come around and hang out with them. Like, I don't know. They isolate themselves with hate, and then the only place they have to go is an echo chamber after that. What's up, Master Voltaire? Happy freedom to you. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Rad. It's hard to have a good time. You got people acting like that. What's up, Shanti? Happy freedom to you. Quest. Hey, Quest, do you think the Pope will rise in 3 days? I do not. I do not think so. What's up, Slenderbrella? Happy freedom. What's up, Sergeant Tripod? Happy freedom to you. Devin, start the calendar with Anna Paulina Luna. No, you can't start with the best. You gotta. Everybody just be in January. We release these calendars. Everyone's like, it's January all year round. Like, you can't start with the best. Josh 1776. I'm not sure what you're responding to, but it says, normally those people have leaky assholes and smell like shit too. Yeah, the shapeshifters. It's gotta be. Smell like shit and shame. That's right, 10 man. What's up, Deep South Jody? Happy freedom to you. It's a great day to be alive. Absolutely. All right, hooligans. We'll get into this next one. Like I said, we got a couple follow-ups here on both school shootings that happened recently. The first one's going to be about Florida State University, and the second one's going to be about the Dallas shooting that the news is covering up for some reason. Well, that's not for some reason. We know why. It doesn't fit the agenda. But before we get into it, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, if you would like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, the website. Come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, screaming goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, and President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's get into these follow-ups really quick. All right, hooligans, hit the like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
This morning, we are learning more about the mass shooting at Florida State University. The investigation still in its early stages, but we now have names and faces of the two men senselessly killed. Fox 35's Matt Trezza is live with the details. Matt, we learned that both of the men were food service employees.
Yes, that's right. And they were also both fathers. Tiru Chaba had 2 children, and Robert Morales leaves behind a daughter. Now, Tallahassee police say 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner gunned down both men and wounded 6 other people during a shooting rampage at Florida State University. Chaba was from Greenville, South Carolina. He was a food service vendor visiting the campus at the time of the shooting. He helped support his local community and gave out free lunches. Morales worked as the dining coordinator at the university. He was also a football coach at a local high school and the co-owner of a Cuban restaurant in Tallahassee. And we spoke with one of Morales' close friends.
You could see him walking every day, talking to kids, asking them how the university could do better, and also just giving them just good advice.
The 6 injured victims are expected to survive. Live in downtown Orlando, Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Matt. We do have new details about the suspected shooter's childhood. 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner here is the accused gunman. New documents show his parents were in a custody dispute over him when he was younger. Court records allege his biological mother kidnapped him in 2015 and violated a custody agreement by taking him to Norway. His mother has U.S. and Norwegian citizenship, and she allegedly told his father she was taking him to South Florida before leaving the country. The affidavit also states that Eichner has developmental delays and special needs, and that same year in 2015, Eichner's mother filed a slander lawsuit against his father and stepmother. Eichner is accused of using his stepmother's gun during the shooting. She's a Leon County Sheriff's deputy, and right now we're learning more about Eichner from a former classmate. Fox 35's Carla Byron has those details this morning.
Lakeland native Ian Townsend says he would see the alleged FSU gunman Phoenix Eichner in 2 of his fall 2024 classes at Tallahassee State College. Townsend says Eichner was unafraid to engage in political debate, even when the subject matter didn't call for it.
He did say that he believed climate change was real, but whenever that would get brought up, obviously other political things get brought up, like gun control and the amendments that we're all passing and stuff. So you could tell that he was, a big proponent of the right-wing stuff.
However, he gave Townsend no indication he would be violent.
I just thought he was a run-of-the-mill, gun-loving guy because he wore NRA shirts and he had, police support badges and stuff on his backpack. He had kind of his backpack was military, grade, camping grade, something you would wear if you were in a survivalist situation.
And so I was on the pathway and then I just saw the shooter basically whip out his gun and just start shooting everything.
Tampa native and FSU sophomore Samantha Joseph says she saw someone fall to the ground during the shooting, and then Eichner fired in her direction. She ran away for her life into the student union building and yelled there was a shooter, likely saving other lives.
It's he is 20 years old, he is an adult, he knew exactly what he was doing, and it just inflicted a lot of pain within FSU and our Tallahassee community as a whole.
Many, including Joseph and Townsend, will be attending the vigil on campus Friday evening.
I feel like it's important that just, everybody come together and be strong in moments like this. Once I heard that there was a vigil, I don't know, it wasn't really even me thinking of why it was important. It was just kind of instinct, yeah, we got to go to that.
Leaning on one another to get through the tragedy. Carla Byron, Fox 35 News.
And you can depend on Fox 35 for the latest on the investigation.
Okay, so follow up there on the Florida State University shooter, except for they don't tell us why he did it. They just take us into his childhood where they say that his mom did some parental kidnapping and took him to Norway. I think it's kind of interesting that they let her be a sheriff while she has dual citizenship. That seems kind of odd. Maybe they don't give a shit, but it just seems kind of weird. But then what happened over the last 10 years that caused him to go and carry out this shooting that he did, They also say that he had, I don't know how they described it, learning disabilities or something like that. He had some things going on mentally, I guess, but they don't tell us why he did it or why they think he did it or if he has a manifesto, or how come his mom hasn't made any statements? How come they haven't interviewed her? Like, there's a lot of details missing, but at least we know his childhood, a little piece of it. It's kind of weird. I'll be surprised if we get any more out of this. They went and asked the most woke classmates they had, I guess, claiming that he is basically a right-wing extremist, that he's pro-gun, he's pro-cop. Obviously, his mom's a cop. He had a military-grade backpack. It must have been tactical. I don't know. But they're trying to paint him up like he's a right-wing extremist, and mission accomplished, right? They got two different classmates kind of portraying this image. They might as well wrap it up after that. I doubt we'll ever hear. They never officially released the Nashville shooters manifesto. We only heard the little bit that we got from what Crowder had found out. They want to keep this kind of stuff under wraps. I wonder if he's a shapeshifter. He's looking kind of weird in that picture, but nope. The narrative is he's a right-wing extremist, and that's what happened. Next up, we got another follow-up. This is about the Dallas school shooter. This is titled Dallas ISD Answers Questions About School Shooting. Fills in most of the blanks there. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the Florida State University shooter. Guess I'm pro-gun, pro-cop, and I got backpacks. Fuck. Yeah, I guess pretty soon the Pentagon will come out and say that. If you like your Second Amendment, you've ever worn a backpack, there's a good chance that you're a terrorist of sorts. That's what they always do. The Pentagon's always saying crazy stuff. Russell, mental health is a problem. I've never wanted to do bad things to someone because of a difference of opinions. Yeah, Russell. Well, and then they say, oh, well, he believed that climate change was real, but then he'd start talking about other politics. I think most right-wing people don't think that climate change is real. So I think they kind of slipped up there while they were, spilling that description around. But I don't know. I think that it's really easy to paint a description of somebody who can't defend themselves. And I'm not saying he's a good person by any means. I just think that they're twisting the story a little bit. Sergeant Tripod, YouTube is AIDS. Had to go to Rumble. That's right. Free the Good Text, and climate change is real, but we can't stop it. The thing is pollution. They want to worry about climate change and shit. Climate change is the symptom of pollution. So they should talk about pollution, what causes it, habits we could learn to try and stop littering and pouring bad stuff into the environment, right? Pollution is the problem. Climate change is the name of the agenda. And that's the thing. That's why Democrats are so deceptive, is their goofy ass labels. If they put this energy into stopping people from doing pollution, they might be onto something. But instead, they're pushing an agenda. They're saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. Meanwhile, I'm going to fly in my private jet all over the country. And it's like, do as I say, not as I do. Democrats are the worst. Guess some dinosaurs tried to stop climate change too? Yep. Ghostly, that was the mess up on mom's fault. She messed her kid up. Yeah, I think you're right, Ghostly. It does sound that way. But that's what I mean. Like, has the mom given a statement since this happened? How did he get the guns? Did she give them to him? Were they actually his? Did they belong to someone else? What about the shooting? Like, that's great. That happened during the custody battle when he was a kid. Now that he's a 20-year-old grown man, what made him want to do the shooting? And I don't think they're going to tell us. Bill Clay, I made it to my hotel in Panama City Beach. I'm overlooking the Gulf of America. That's so badass, Bill Clay. Heck yeah, enjoy your visit. That's awesome. Free the Good Texan. He's a Nazi. Everyone's a Nazi. Yeah, free the Good Texan, I guess. What's up, Stoner? Happy freedom to you. Stoner, stupid dry sake. I'm going to be going nuts trying not to smoke. You got to get edibles. Oh, well, try it. Yeah. Try and find edibles that you can get, Stoner. That's what I try and do. I lose my marbles if I can't be hitting my pen and stuff. Try and find edibles. That's the best thing I can see. Or tinctures. Tinctures would help too because they're stronger and you don't have to consume as much of it. I don't know if you're where you can get dispensaries and stuff, like if you can get to a dispensary, but tinctures would probably be the way to go if you got dentist work done. Elder Zoomer MK Ultra type shit. Yeah, seems that way. Sage Pup, I guess he didn't like the food. Nah, I don't think that was the situation. Too old to care. Phoenix doesn't look right. Yeah, he looks a little off. What's up, MU? Happy Freedom. Elon has said, I don't play golf, but a nice walk is what is necessary, or essentially a beautiful park is still great. I agree, MU. Yeah, I didn't realize Elon had said that, but I definitely could see it. Thanks so much, Sergeant Tripod, for joining the membership program over on Rumble, and welcome to the family. You're officially a hooligan. Now I appreciate you, Sergeant Tripod. Thank you so much. Kirsten, but carbon is needed to grow plants. They're trying to tax us for this garbage. Yeah. It's all a scam. Ghostly, just be a man, smoke through your nose. I've heard that you could still get dry socket smoking through your nose because it has something to do with the pull. You're putting vacuum on your system. Now, I'm not a dentist. I'm not a gynecologist. I just play one on TV. But I've been told that by dentists that you can't smoke through your nose and avoid dry socket. But to each their own. Josh 1776, use a straw to keep an open spot in your mouth. As long as you don't suck too hard, you should be good. I mean, that's what I told her. Yeah, Josh 1776. Like I said, I don't exactly know how dry socket works, but it does suck to have to change your routine after going to the dentist. Meta. If the auto pen conveyed Walter's intentions, it is lawful. Even if he was in another state, doesn't feel right to me. Yeah, well, and that's the big thing is nobody knows if Biden actually gave the authority for the auto pen to be used. They think that it could have been staffers signing documents claiming it was him. And that's the thing is it doesn't seem like they're going to follow up or investigate it in any way. Meta, heartbreaking. When is it going to happen where I live? Nah, Meta, I don't know about all that stuff. It's never happened where I live. I don't want it to happen, but I got to be careful what I say. You see what they did to Alex Jones, so I don't know. It's a rough situation. What the hell is going on Twitch? I don't know what to say. I don't know. Twitch is the weirdest fucking platform that we live stream to. We go live in like 7 locations and Twitch is just shit. It's like hanging out in the alley out back. I don't know. Anyways. Vinyl, don't seal your lips when you drag on a cigarette. Is that what it is? Is the vacuum going on in your mouth and all that causes dry socket? I'm not a dentist, but maybe you guys are. What's up, Cube? Happy Freedom? No, I'm not buying the Switch 2. I didn't buy the first Switch. I've played it. It's cool or whatever, but no, I never found a reason to shell out $350 or whatever it is for a Switch. Have you played? Oh yeah, we beat Starfield. I think we beat Starfield on the live, but I play on PC. I don't play on the Switch. Guess you're gonna get banned over on YouTube. You can't speak to them all sexy like that. What's up, Railroad? Happy Freedom. The Leon County Sheriff's mom is a stepmom, isn't she? Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think the mom that he took the gun from is actually a stepmom. I think you're right. But still, why isn't there any follow-up from the family? How come the family hasn't spoke about the situation and all of that? That's what I keep wondering. It's like, that's who could really fill in the blanks there. Here, Juicer, a kid got caught with a gun at my kid's school this morning. Haven't heard any details. That's interesting here, Juicer. There was a situation like that happened near me where somebody had let off a firearm in the front yard of an elementary school, and the police detained him, and they told no one. The school didn't even go into lockdown. I don't even know what happened. They covered it all up. The only thing I could think of is that the person was related to a judge or a cop or someone that works for the township. Somebody, he's connected to somebody important, because they swept that story away. Because I was trying to go in and find out more. Somebody locally had told me when it happened, but they covered it up. And that's what happens in these small towns. Like, these small towns are more corrupt than the big towns, because there's no one here overseeing the corruption. There's no one here checking the boxes, making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you got people playing king and queen around here, and it's kind of scary. For the Texan, did he smoke himself? I don't know. They talk about him like he's dead, but I don't actually know if he's dead or not. What's up, Trapper? Happy Freedom to you. All right, hooligans, let's move forward here. Like I said, we got this other school shooting follow-up video. This is titled Dallas ISD Answers Questions About School Shooting. Now, we covered this in pretty good detail when it first happened. We also played the video where he turned himself in. They're going to show a clip of that in this video. But remember, he was shaking hands for all the officers. His parents are patting him on the back. Like, oh, yeah, he only shot 4 people, but nah, it's cool. He's, treat him like he won the Super Bowl. Now, he put out a social media video. I can't remember if they played this in this video or not. I would just go get the social media video, but it's so vulgar. It's so vulgar. All he says is that he thought that they were going to kill him, and he didn't want to die, and that too many of his family members are killed. And then he makes references that I don't know if he means young people or black people or what he means, but he's saying, I don't want them to keep killing us or whatever. So I did what I did, and I shouldn't have, but it'd be better that I got locked up than being dead in the ground. That's basically what the social media video says. However, it's like 5.5 minutes of him saying the N-word and the fuck word over and over and over again. So again, I don't know if they're going to play that in this video, but there's reasons why I haven't played it on my own. It's just really not worth listening to. But either way, once again, this is a follow-up video that is titled Dallas ISD Answers Questions About School Shooting. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
2 days after a gunman shot 4 students at Wilmer Hutchins High School, Dallas ISD finally answered questions about the shooting.
The district said the shooter, who appeared to be targeting one person in particular, was in and out of the school in less than 2 minutes. Fox 4's Lori Brown live in Dallas with the story. Lori.
Heather, the superintendent said that the school district will place administrative staff at the school's 13 side and back entrances for the remaining 23 days left of school.
Surveillance images obtained by Fox 4 News show the violence unleashed by a gunman in less than 2 minutes. One student appeared to be shot with the .40 caliber weapon at point-blank range. Thursday, Superintendent Dr. Stephanie Elizalde said all 4 students are expected to fully recover. The gunshots, followed by a teacher's reaction, can be heard while these girls were shooting a video nearby on a cell phone.
We understand the frustrations, parents and students, and trust me, we're all feeling that frustration, and we are frustrated ourselves.
Dallas Police Chief Albert Martinez said the district would not name the suspect because of student privacy laws, but we know his identity is Tracy Haynes Jr. and that he turned himself in 8 hours after the shooting at 9 p.m. Martinez says the suspect was a student at Wilmer Hutchins High School, that he parked on the north side of the school at 12:56 p.m., got out 2 minutes later and approached a door on the west side of the school that was locked on the outside. At 1:01 p.m., a student inside the school opened the door. The shooter opened fire moments after entering, wounding 4 students in the hallway. At 1:03 p.m., he left out the same door he came in and drove off.
From the point of entry into the school to the time he exit is less than 2 minutes.
Shortly after the shooting, parents were allowed to reunite with their children at a stadium next to the school. At the time, the district said the school was secured, but did not say anything about the status of the suspect.
Why did the district wait for 4 hours to tell the public that the gunman was on the loose?
Yes, ma'am. So in these situations, first of all, we're dealing with a very large high school. Our protocols are very simple. We go in to stop the killing, stop the dying. It's written in law. It's written in our policy. Once we've established that, we're rendering aid, ensuring we get the students out, and then we start sweeping the school. Usually, with all these situations, there's always a second shooter, real or imagined. At the time, we did not feel that we needed to put out that information. Maybe it was slower, maybe it wasn't. But it wasn't going to exactly do a public good to put it out immediately.
About 30 to 40 minutes after the shooting, Milton Nieto says he saw a teenager in distress about a car crash. He picked him up, but when he asked to go all the way to an address in Waxahachie, he dropped him off in Red Oak, where another driver picked him up.
When we turned on the news and saw you pointed at a wooded area, that's when things just started clicking.
This happened all before Dallas ISD revealed the shooter was not in custody.
We also didn't really have a good description. We had a name. Actually, we had several names. But that being said, we sent out our law enforcement teams to go find him.
The police chief says this incident did not come from a failure to follow safety protocols, which was the case with another shooting at the campus almost exactly 1 year ago. Martinez also said in this case, the shooting may not have been preventable, but the district says it will assess how to better monitor when a side door locked to the outside is opened from the inside.
We will be putting 13 additional staff members from now until the end of the school year at each of those entrances, so that I can guarantee that another student cannot open one of these doors from the inside.
The district is still determining if the student who opened the door for Haynes was part of the plot and if he will face criminal charges. Investigators don't yet know how Haynes managed to get a handgun. Heather.
Okay, so they have no idea how he got the gun. He had a handgun, so obviously he wasn't old enough to just go and purchase it on his own. I'm pretty sure you got to be 21 or older to get a handgun. I'm not in Dallas, so I mean, maybe their laws are different there. But then they're saying, oh, well, one of his buddies or somebody let him into the building. Well, that's nice that they're going to hire 13 more people. Maybe they should have already did that. But I think that if it's not a main door, they should put an alarm on those doors. On those side doors that don't have a real purpose unless it's a fire emergency or maybe an active shooter emergency, put an alarm on those doors. If those doors get open, the fire alarm goes off, everybody knows what you did. Seems very simple. He wouldn't have been able to do that. He'd opened the door, the alarms would have went off, everyone would have reacted, and anybody in the nearby vicinity of that door would have been able to look at the door, right? Because there's only so many directions that would have caused that alarm to go off, and been like, yo, what the hell are these kids doing over here, right? And they could have stopped this situation from happening. The other thing is have they interviewed that other kid? Do they know who it is? You know, they're saying that he could, or they, because they didn't say if it was a boy or a girl, but they could be facing criminal charges and stuff. And I think in a certain kind of way, they should be, if they were actually a part of the agenda. Now, I could see things being kind of foggy in that situation. I remember being in high school. I remember having hundreds of friends and stuff like that. And if I had a buddy who I'm cool with come up to me and go, hey, I'm going to knock on the side door. Will you let me in? I got to run out to my car real quick. I probably would have been like, yeah, I guess. You know, my locker's right here. Yeah, I'll let you in. Here, knock on the door. You let them in. They're like, hey, thanks. You're like, yeah, no problem. You go to class. Later on, the school goes into lockdown. You're like, what the fuck happened? does that mean you deserve to go to jail? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to jail if I was in that situation, but that's about the only way. Outside of that, if you knew he was going to bring a gun to school, you shouldn't open that door. You open Pandora's box, and not her pretty box. So either way, I don't know. That's our follow-up on the Dallas school shooting. Like I said, they've been trying to cover this up. They do not want people to continue to talk about this because the agenda, the way they do things, it doesn't fit the bill. He didn't have an AR. He wasn't a white Supreme pizza. He didn't have a MAGA hat on, so they don't want to cover this in the news. But I went and found a follow-up, and I don't know if we'll have any more follow-ups on that story, but it is what it is. Next up, SCOTUS dusts off rarely used wartime law to stop a Trump promise. Here we are. They are trying to stop this mass deportation again, and I am so sick of covering these videos. They need to just let the good times roll. Get these 25 million illegals out of the country. They're criminals. They're monsters, and we don't need them here, so they need to just go. Either way, like I said, SCOTUS dusts off rarely used wartime law to stop a Trump promise. It's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this Dallas school shooting follow-up video. Josh 1776, what do they mean if? How is it up for debate? Yeah, they need to find the person that helped the shooter get into the building and go figure all of that out. They also need to figure out, how did the shooter get the gun? Because if he got it through his parents, then maybe they need to go to court too. Instead of patting him on the back and telling him he's a good boy as he shakes hands with the cops as he turned himself in. Russell, they could hire combat vets to patrol and man the doors. Yep. When I was in school, we had cops. We didn't have metal detectors or a process you go through and they wand you and scan your backpack. And we didn't do any of that crap. We just went into the school and there was police everywhere. And I'm 3 cops, 4 cops, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't a big deal. But they were always out and about. There was cameras all over the place. Nobody did anything stupid like that. Alistair, I'm so glad you censored yourself and didn't say the fuck word. Yeah. Ever since I've been liberated from the YouTube plantation, I just kind of let that fuck word fly. Josh 1776, Twitch went to shit, Amazon bought it and filled it with ads, lost viewers, made it softcore porn site to make its money back. Yeah. True, crazy, you're cracking me up. Holy. Cricket Kiss, happy freedom to you. Still waiting for the Butler shooter. 8 phones to be unlocked. Amazing how fast they can give us info on these random people. Yeah. Well, it's like Ryan Ruth. He'll just be going to court over and over again. They're not even giving him like an assassination attempt. They're trying to get him off the hook. Free the Texan, we had to rent a cop. Yeah, I've heard of that too, like school cops not being real cops. At the high school I was at, they were real cops. They were city cops or whatever. I don't think they were sheriffs. Shroomish, great. Now I'm going to have the Good Times Roll song stuck in my head. My bad, Shroomish. It happens. Sage Pup, I don't believe that the other student was aware of his intentions. I feel the same way, Sage Pup. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. We don't have anything to work with. And when they said that, like what I said, the hypothetical story, if I was in that situation, that was the first thing that came to mind when I heard that there was a student that helped him get in the building. It's like, he probably didn't know. Like, I don't think people want bad things to happen, so I don't think he was like, hey, open the door, I'm going to come in with a gun and shoot people. Like, I don't think he got somebody on board like that, but we don't know. Shroomish, come on, Jeff. Kids need those doors to ditch school. You're not wrong, Shroomish, because I used to go out those side doors every time I was skipping class and stuff, too. You're not wrong, but at the same time, if there was alarms on those doors, I wouldn't have used them to cut school. I would have had to go through either the front entrance or the not front entrance, because you dirty little hooligans will make fun of me if I say the back entrance. But I would have had to go through a main entryway instead of using the side doors. So it's just, one more reason why we should put alarms on those side doors. What's up, Giggling Spy? Happy Freedom. You know what, Giggling Spy? I've been using this smell kit twice a day since you sent it to me. And I don't know if it's fixing things, but it's definitely my new hobby. It's kind of like meditating, sitting here going through these scents to try and retrain my sniffer so I can smell things again. I'm really thankful you sent that to me. Thank you, Giggling Spy. Sergeant Tripod, you guys had a real cop? Yeah. Bill Clay, hooligans, the Modelo and the scent of Gulf of America is intoxicating. I bet, Bill Clay. I'm super jealous. Josh 1776, take a Q-tip, put some isopropyl alcohol on it, and clean the inside of your nose. It's not gonna fix it. COVID killed my scent. I don't know what happened to it. I'm trying to find it though. Bill Clay, you need to come to the Gulf of America and your sense of smell will return. I believe you, Bill Clay. I need to put that on my to-do list. Freely Texan, our side doors were locked from the outside. We could go out, but no one could come in. That's how our doors were also Freely Texan. Of course, when I went out them, I had no intentions of coming back anyways. I've been just waiting. Bam, gone. Jeez. Bunch of children in the chat. This is the second person I had to ban today. Twitch is terrible. Mike Ingalls, if you had a truck, odds are a rifle was in the back window rack. I don't know if you could do that here in Michigan. They'd flip out, but I know in rural areas it's like that. Like in North Dakota, they all just drive around with shotguns and shit right on the dashboard, and it's no big deal, because it ain't a big deal. It's our Second Amendment right. It shouldn't be that damn scary unless somebody's using it. But where I live in Michigan, people are scared to open carry, and that's the law here. But you never know. Cops shoot you in the face just because they're bored and it's a Wednesday. And so, yeah, it's hard to say. Hey, Quest, you can have cops at your school? Sometimes I think it's not needed, but it's hard to say. Every situation is its own. Wayward, we had one cop for like 5 schools in my area. I don't think I can read this other one. Yeah. Alistair, the scent of a hooligan. Oh, that's going to be our new cologne when it comes out. The scent of a hooligan. It's going to have eagle screeches in the background, Gulf of America waves rolling and stuff. Get you the scent of a hooligan. It's good stuff. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, more people standing in the way of the Trump agenda. This is titled, SCOTUS Dusts Off Rarely Used Wartime Law to Stop a Trump Promise. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, go check out the Only Hooligan shop for cool custom hooligan items. Now, Alistair put this shop together as a way for us to have some control over quality, shipping times, and costs to you hooligans. So definitely go check out the Only Hooligan shop for cool custom items. Like I said, we will be adding stuff to the shop shortly. but it's the way to go. So definitely go check it out. Anyways, let's get this pulled up. Like I said, SCOTUS standing in the way of these mass deportations. Man, old man Walter knew what he was doing when he opened that border up. He really screwed us. Anyways, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
Well, House Judiciary Chair Congressman Jim Jordan joins us now. Congressman, what do you make of the Supreme Court's decision?
Well, I think the Solicitor General said that the administration is going to look for some other statutory way to remove these individuals. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I think it'll play out in a pretty expedited way. But the bottom line here is that, there are people who came to this country illegally. There is some level of process that they're due, but it's not the same as we American citizens. We're entitled to due process under the Constitution. They're entitled to some level of process. The Justice Department says they're going through that, evaluating each and every one of these individuals.
Congressman, I just want to take a moment here. Sorry to interrupt, but the New York Stock...
Just a moment. I forgot they did this. Let me skip this really quick. We already know Pope Francis kicked the bucket, yada, yada, yada. They're going to waste like 3 minutes of that. All right, here we go.
Sorry to interrupt, but let's get back to the Supreme Court's decision. What are the options for the administration?
Well, I think, again, they've asked to use other authority to deport migrants who are here illegally. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see how this case is argued in front of the court. I think it'll be a pretty quick decision that we get to. But the bottom line is the president ran on this issue. He told the American people what he was going to do. I think the Alien Enemies Act is entirely appropriate. It talks about predatory incursion. So many of these individuals are here doing exactly that. So I think we just got to let this play out in court. But this administration is committed to doing what they told the American people they were going to do, what they were elected to do, and they've been carrying that out.
Yeah.
We'll continue to see how this plays out in our courts.
I want to get to this one as well, Congressman. I want you to listen to what Senator Van Hollen had to say in defense of his taxpayer-funded trip to visit that alleged MS-13 gang member, Abrego Garcia. Listen to this.
I want to be very clear. I'm not vouching for the man. I'm vouching for the man's rights, his constitutional rights to due process. And the proper place to litigate that is in the courts. My whole point here is if you deprive one man of his constitutional rights, you threaten the constitutional rights of everybody.
And Congressman, why are Democrats so hung up on defending an illegal immigrant who the administration says is a known gang member? I don't get it.
Yeah, an illegal immigrant who's a member of this MS-13 gang who actually was in front of a judge, and a judge determined that those facts were accurate. Now, there's been a subsequent judge who said that, he may be in danger because he says there's another gang who wants to do him harm. I think it's interesting. He's not a member of MS-13, but there's another gang that wants to do him harm. You got to kind of wonder about all that. But there has been a level of process. Again, not the same level that we as American citizens get, but there has been a level of process, and that they do this, I think, for every single individual they're going through. They're evaluating, they're looking at this, they're seeing, was this person a member of a gang? Is he here illegally? If so, then they're gonna send this individual back. So Mr. Van Hollen Senator Van Hollen can do what he wants, but I think the American people understand what's going on here, and they understand the whole context. 10 million people allowed in the previous administration just to come into this country. They understand that as well.
Exactly. Congressman Jim Jordan, terrific stuff as always. Congressman, thank you very much.
Now, I swear this has to be some sort of psyop or something. There's been so many people deported lately. Lots. Thousands. Double digits thousands. Maybe we're at 100,000 now. I don't know. They don't keep us updated with that kind of stuff. But we try to keep up to date with Tom Homan and all of that. At very least, we're at 50,000 people or something like that. Why is this the only person that is the poor father from Maryland? Like, why? Why are we so hyper-focused on this one guy that they've proven over and over again he's a wife-beating illegal, and it was time for him to go. And he's from El Salvador, so if he was going to be deported and maybe not imprisoned, he'd still be in El Salvador. So what is the argument here? It's just whether or not he's MS-13. Okay? And they're saying that like that has to do with the justification of him being in Supermax. Okay, but he ain't coming back no matter what. Leave that to El Salvador to figure out. Because he's either going to be inside the prison in El Salvador or he'll be in the outside of the prison of El Salvador. But he's never coming back here. It doesn't matter. And it's crazy. You know what? I'm going to pull this up because I seen some people sympathizing, not in the chat, not with you guys, out in the wild. I seen dumbasses out there sympathizing with Garcia, the gang member who was shipped out. His wife was on TV and got asked about the protection order. Let me see if I can find it really quick. It's only going to take a second. Because she couldn't even speak on it. Because they keep trying to act like it's fake. Like it's not real. Oh, these are just accusations. She really wasn't, in danger and all this stuff. And what makes it even better is this is ABC. This is soft-ass news. Okay, so this goofy guy right here interviews his wife. This is Garcia's wife. This is the MS-13 wife-beating illegal who was sent to Supermax. This is his wife. This is the person that he supposedly was beating on. Now, let me see if I can find it, because I was considering putting this in the news. I was like, maybe not. But since it got brought up and I'm having me a day, we're going to go ahead and see. Now, give me a moment here to see if we can figure out where it is. It's somewhere here in the timeline.
Is he a member of the MS-13? But I have to ask it.
Okay, it's right here. Now watch this goofy shit, and like I'm saying, the idiots out there who are trying to sympathize with this piece of shit who's in Supermax should watch their own fucking news, because this right here tells you all you need to know.
And I know this is a sensitive question, but I have to ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
My husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay, and not going to push on that apparently. But how much hope?
That's the guy we're worried about? That guy? His wife she didn't say, no, that's not true. No, he didn't beat on me. No, I didn't put in a PPO against him. Oh, he's alive, and that's all that matters. Oh, yeah? It didn't matter he was whooping your ass 4 years ago? He stripped you naked and beat you down to the point where you put a personal protection order against him? Oh, you don't want to talk about that while you're live on ABC? Like, come on. Like, if you can't handle ABC, then you probably shouldn't be doing interviews. I'm just saying. Anyways, that's the piece of shit that everyone's advocating for, like a bunch of fucking idiots. Anyways, the last little bit of the news is lefties losing it. This one's titled Trans Activist Gross J.K. Rowling Attack. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Jim Jordan talking about SCOTUS standing in the way of this mass deportation, and how these idiots out here are trying to preserve this image of the poor father from Maryland who's actually an MS-13 woman beating illegal who is right where he should be. 10 man, she's being fed answers. Yeah, because she's trying to walk that line, but it ain't working because they're trying to preserve, like I'm saying, this image of this guy who's actually a bad person. Mac Daddy, that's not a real news guy. That's an ex-NFL player. Yeah. Russell, this is not going to wind up good for the Dems. Yeah, but they're trying desperately. Alistair, these idiots keep saying he didn't get due process. Then why does he have 3,000 pages of court documents agreeing that he was eligible for deportation? It's stupid. Yes. Yeah. The reason they didn't deport him is because there was a fear of death and or torture by other gangs if he was to be sent back to El Salvador. That's because he's a gang member. That's why. If a random person went to El Salvador, you wouldn't be worried about other gangs, because all gangs would be considered gangs, right? It wouldn't be other gangs. It's the suggestion that he is in a gang. That's the only reason why he didn't get deported, is because of fear of death and or torture. And they pulled him over for worrying about human trafficking. They were saying that he got caught coming from Dallas or somewhere down south and was on his way to Maryland, I think it was. And he had like 8 people in the car with him. Nobody spoke English, and everybody said they were from his address. And they were trying to get him on human trafficking, and they weren't able to. And I mean, so on and so forth. We've been staying up to date with Garcia, and people that sympathize with him are either they are intentionally sympathizing with an MS-13 woman beating illegal, or they are damn stupid and they are being duped by the manipulative Democrat news. It's one or the other. I mean, it's one or the other. These people are idiots who sympathize with this guy. Of all the people you could sympathize with, it's gonna be this guy? Holy, they might as well sympathize with Lake and Riley's murderer, you know? Russell, well, he was here illegally. Yep. Send him back where he goes. Guess I'm B. Damn stupid. They are. Told care, I question why he's getting special treatment. You know, I was thinking the same thing. Why'd he get an interview with Senator Dumbass? You know, and where were they? Where they were drinking out of their fine glasses and their nice little tablecloths. Where'd they move that inmate to do that interview? Cody, Dems are picking some low fruit. They are. I love you too, Trigger Crazy. Free the text and put her in front of Ducey. Nah, put her in front of Joe Rogan. You know, do her like that. I'd say put her in front of Russell Brand, but, you know, that's probably not the guy right at this time. I haven't heard anything good about Russell Brand lately. They're trying to get him on, like, sexual assault charges and stuff. Elder Zoomer, she sounds like there was someone with a gun behind the camera. Yeah, she was looking like she was waiting for somebody to hold up a sign with an answer on it. Cody, a real wife would have been like, that's my man, and F y'all, sugar cookies. Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. If it was bullshit and he never hit her and she never wanted to put a PPO on him, she would have been outraged at that question. Instead, she was lost for a response. And then she was like, well, he's alive and that's all that matters. That's not even a response. You could have asked her, like, how your day is. Well, he's alive and that's all that matters. Like, oh, this one's broken. Put it back. Like, I don't know. I can't stand the stupid games. Pumpkin, she's afraid of someone? Yeah, seems that way. What's up, Enter user? Happy Freedom. And she's raking in the money. Oh, I bet. Especially after seeing how Carmelo Anthony's family is raking in money. I bet she's getting good bucks off this TV time. Shroomish, crack a beer, Jeff, if you're having a day. No, I can't get drinking yet. Cat Daniels, you better sit your ass down before I deport you. 100% tariffs on the cat. Yep, no more fancy face. You're cutting you off. You sit your zooming ass down. I'll let the birds have their way with you. On camera. That's right. You better go lay down. Mm-hmm. And her user, is she legal? Yeah, she's an American. Trigger Crazy. I haven't seen Salty Ragu yet today. Meta, no taste or smell. Try biting into a small piece of raw ginger. It will reset your taste buds and shock the nerves in your nose. Grab a small piece from the store and try it. Be ready to taste again. That worked for many during the pandemic. I'll give that a try, Meta. What is raw ginger? Like, do I buy that where the cucumbers are? Or does it come in a jar? Or is it both? I guess I don't know a whole lot about ginger. I mean, I can spot them at the bar, but that's about it. What's up, Find It Fix It? Happy Freedom. Find it, fix it. Isn't it crazy how many shootings there were over the weekend? I mean, it depends. I haven't actually heard about a lot of shootings, but that doesn't mean they didn't happen. What's up, Magic Moon? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Douglas? Happy freedom. They're just saying random words in the chat, but that's okay. What's up, Old School? Happy freedom to you. No cops in the schools when I was in school. All doors open to use. No school shooters either. Yeah, times have changed. Unfortunately. Wayward, why do you have lipstick on? You talking about the ABC journalist? So you can kiss that ass when he's done working? Guess I'm raw ginger as a dude from New York. Well, I'm not putting that in my mouth. Goodness. Shroomish, buy it in the produce by the onions. Thank you for letting me know, Shroomish. Let me see what time it is. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it today. I'll have to do it tomorrow. Cody, it's a money grab? Yeah, I think so too. Nah, J Spray, I ain't never tried that. I don't want my smell and taste back that damn bad. Holy. All right, hooligans, like I said, we're getting into the lefties losing it, and then we'll be getting into our fun stuff of the day. This one's titled Trans Activists Gross J.K. Rowling Attack. That's a mouthful. That's what she said. Anyways, hit the like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and let's start with the landmark ruling in the UK's highest court. This is where reality triumphed over delusion. Yes, Britain's Supreme Court has helped restore a little bit of sanity in an increasingly mad world with a landmark ruling steeped in common sense and scientific certainty. In a definitive ruling, the court found that a woman is a biological female. Always was, always will be. And that means women's spaces and women's sport should be protected from male bodies. Of course, that saw outrage from the usual suspects.
I do my business, it's none of your business. Where I do my business, it's none of your business. Where I do my business, it's none of your business. Where we do our business, it's none of your business. Where I do my business, it's none of your business.
Our biological sex does not decide what toilets we use, our brain does.
This next trans activist not only wants to use the female toilets despite being a male, but he wants to poop on J.K. Rowling. Charming.
I'm going to use a woman's toilet. Then I'm going to use another woman's toilet. You, J.K. Rowling, you'll never stop me from peeing. The only person that is you. So we should all take on you. You heinous cretinal. There is no civility when it comes to your human rights being demolished.
Yeah, we're supposed to believe these guys are the oppressed ones. Now, here is UK broadcaster Julia Hartley-Brewer trying to debate this very issue with a trans activist. It went about as well as you'd expect.
You are not, in fact, a woman. Do you not accept that, or do you accept that ruling?
I mean, like, that's whatever. Like,
no,
for
that's not an answer to a question.
Let me finish.
You're not a 12-year-old.
Let me finish my sentence. That is, to me, whatever, because for me and my community, trans women are women. They have always existed. They will always continue to exist.
What does that mean? They've existed.
Well,
no one's saying they're figments of imagination.
Yeah, but we are saying that they're women.
No, you're saying they exist is not the same as saying they're women.
Well, I'm saying that they're women.
And but that's not the same as saying
fine,
they exist.
If the law doesn't want to...
Well, no, we need to use words that have meaning.
Well, and then she had a complete hissy fit and walked off.
You don't have dangly bits, do you? So do you want to discuss dangly bits or not? Because frankly, I am now feeling in a position where I'm in a room with you.
I will not call my wiener dangling bits. I draw the line.
Seeing My hands are starting to sweat. Do you want to touch my hand? Just
would you want
clam me now?
Okay.
And I actually think I'm about to have a panic attack from sitting in a room with you. So I'd like to
You
leave
do?
now.
What?
Yeah.
So you're feeling?
Yeah, I'd like.
You were asked to come on the show to have a conversation,
And I've had a conversation.
We had a very nice.
We've had a conversation.
Well, you read out a statement,
And
and
you
now
said
I'd like to
you
ask
read out
you
your
some questions.
statement.
I
You
didn't.
read out- you
I
did
didn't
at the
read out
beginning.
a statement. No, that's me introducing the topic for people who are just tuning in and
And you
explaining
added your
what
ad
happened.
libs. You got to say what you thought about it. I've said my piece, and now I'd actually.
Sorry,
I'd really like to go.
I thought we were actually. You actually plugged into a mic there.
Got to take the mic off first, Dals. Of course, this issue is bigger than the UK and bigger than just bathrooms. Here's a trans activist arguing that trans women, so that's males who identify as women, who are post-op, well, they shouldn't be obliged to inform their dates that they were born male.
I know a trans woman who has had her downstairs done, and she's told me about dates that she's gone on with men. With these men, she has done everything that there is to do, and the men didn't know. First and foremost, that is a testament to modern medicine that it's even possible for that to happen. But it's also an interesting quandary, because at that point, what are you even really disclosing? What is there to disclose? There's no deception. When you're dating someone, you don't have to disclose every single thing about yourself up front.
Interesting debate, but no doubt with this next dude, he doesn't have to notify anyone of anything.
Fuck you! No, because I'm cool. It doesn't matter. I'm defending you, little defending you. I'll give you a slap. Go yourself. You little
Have you got this?
A little bit. I can do you. You can't even Fuck right, come
Now, the left have deluded themselves into believing that Trump supporters are feeling enormous regret that somehow they don't like what the administration is doing, even though everything they're doing, they vowed to do in the election campaign. It's what they voted for. Here is CNN with a harsh reality check for the left.
I hear all these stories, all these articles, all the Trump voters, they regret what they did back in 2024. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did back in 2024. What are we talking about? Trump voters looking back at 2024, we got a new poll out. The poll was conducted this month. What percentage would change their vote to a different candidate? We're talking just 2%, just 2%. That's not even a wide spot on the road.
And when it comes to the Trump administration's deportation program, the leftist meltdowns from the Democrats and their propaganda arm in the mainstream media, well, it's having little impact. The majority of folks in the US want to see illegal immigrants deported, all of them.
Deport all undocumented immigrants. Voters favoring the government trying to deport all 11 million of them. Back in 2016, just 38% of voters wanted the government to try to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. Compared to where we are in 2025, 56%, the majority. The American people have come a long way on this issue, much closer to Donald Trump, and I think that's a big part of the reason why Americans are increasingly saying the country is on the right track when it comes to immigration policy, and why Donald Trump's net approval rating on that issue is in the positive.
Okay, well, that is the lefties losing their marbles there. I couldn't believe the big buffalo fighting outside the bar or whatever that was about. Whenever they snatched his wig off. Gross. Anyways, we're going to be getting into the fun stuff. We got an unboxing. We have like 3 or 4 things to unbox. Then we will be opening today's door of the advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. Then we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled Uncles Being Uncles. And our official funny video of the day is titled The Purpose of Dad Jokes. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the lefties losing it. Matt Rogers, that guy's a huge problem. He is. It reminded me of Family Guy where Peter, he was all legs, and it was like all the way up to his armpits. That's kind of what that dude was looking like, well, until that woman went and snatched his wig off. I feel the same way, guess, Matt Rogers, open the mental hospitals back up. Absolutely. They got good business just waiting on them. I don't know what they're doing sitting on their hands. Mag Daddy, not disclosing up front is what ends up getting your butt kicked. Yeah, exactly. They want to be deceptive, and then they wonder why dudes don't want to bang them. They just cause their own problems. The worst of the worst. What's up, my feed? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tiger Jaw? Happy freedom to you. Stoner, who's that Pokemon? I don't know. I don't know who that was. Guess I'm deport all those dangly bits. That's just, it's so derogatory. I'm going to sit here and act all offended. Hey, baby, you want to try these dangly bits? I don't know. You just can't make it sound good. Just saying wiener is more masculine than than the dangly bits. I'm just saying. Bill Clay, what in the blue hell is that? I have no idea. Joel Carrot Klaus might call them that. I think Klaus would run the other way. Those people look like they eat cats. Giggling Spy, panic attack. Yeah, they have a hard time having conversations. I told the kid that chick was mad because Shim looked like her. He was trying to impersonate her. Meta, I regret nothing. I agree. I do not regret voting for President Trump. What, were we supposed to vote for Harris? That was going to be better? Like, come on, man. What's up, Cerebrus? Happy freedom. Yeah, those lefties are so funny. I can't believe you voted for him. It was almost like there was no other option. Like, what are you talking about? It's like you'd have been better off not voting than voting for Harris. Like, Jesus loves us. Rad, so my question is, just because they are for LGBXYZ, that means they're automatically a lefty? If they say they're LGBXYZ, yes, they're a lefty. If they're gay, that doesn't just necessarily mean they're a lefty. There's plenty of gay people out there that are conservatives, the hooligans, people who voted for Trump. The thing is the gay movement got hijacked by pedophiles and sex offenders. That's what happened. That's why they needed LGBXYZ and this, that, and the other, because there was already gay people. And they're just gay people, and there's nothing wrong with that. But LGBXYZ is the movement is the gay movement being hijacked. They had to add in the pedophiles and the sex offenders. That's where everything went left. Now, I'm not advocating that everybody needs to go and be gay, but I think if people want to live their own life and leave everybody else the hell alone, I think that's what everybody wants. Those aren't just regular gay people are not the ones out here being naked in front of children or dressing up, pretending to be the other gender to read stories to children or to be twerking on children or to have children twerking on stage. That's not just regular gay people. That is the hijacked movement. The Rainbow Club does that. Pedophiles and sex offenders. Nobody cares if you're gay or not. Magic Moon, the Decepticons. They are. Cube, how the hell are you supposed to even... Wait a minute. You ever suppose a real woman from a fake with all this crap? The problem is that females don't understand that. They don't understand that some of these dudes in dresses are very deceptive and from a distance might actually look like a woman. So when you see women, you're like, you're a real woman, right? They get offended. They don't understand how difficult it really is to be a man right now. It's like, no, don't be offended. I'm just asking because I need to. But yeah, it's tough. What you do is you kick them right between the legs. And if they have to go sit down somewhere, it's not the girl for you. That's probably not good advice, but that's what I'm working with right now. We'll see how it goes. What's up, Jeff Reynolds? Happy freedom to you. Jeff Reynolds, wasn't David Hogg present during 2 school shootings? I'm not sure. It's kind of a sensitive topic to talk about school shootings and conspiracies in the same context because of what they did to Alex Jones. Find it, fix it. Did you see that one video of the teacher that knocked the MAGA hat off some guy? I think I did see it, but I couldn't find enough context to decide whether or not it was worth putting on the schedule. Sometimes those videos are old, and I don't like to put 3-4-year-old videos up and act like this happened yesterday. I see that happen on X a lot, where it'll show some body cam footage or some incident that happened years ago, and it's just now circulating on X, and everyone's like, we need to do something about this. And it's like, yeah, you should have did something 6 years ago when it happened. And so if I can't tell if the stuff is modern, like it's up to date, then I don't usually show it on the schedule. Guess. The dangly bits. Original. Dogs love it. Oh, that sounds terrible if you put it in context. Never mind. Josh 1776. Let's talk about the upstate New York Piggly Wiggly shooter. I've seen 20-year military black ops have less accuracy in training. Absolutely insane. I don't know anything about that, Josh 1776. You might have to send me a link. Giggling Spy. No, don't kick the box. I mean, you just kick them between the legs. If your foot gets stuck, that might be the woman for you. Now, see, this is just bad advice. Yeah, Stoner, that's how I feel too. But I can't say that stuff sitting here on the screen. Too old to care. Oh my God, I can't. I don't know what to say to that. I can't say that out loud. I know that 100%. That is. We're going to talk about that for Free Speech Saturday. That's what we're going to do. I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm going to screenshot that. It's that wild. We're screenshotting this. Give me a second here. I got to remember to say this over the weekend. Right here. I'm going to drop this right in the chat on the website. They can handle it. I literally can't even say it out loud. Twitch would have a stroke. YouTube would stroke to it and then suspend me. Coming in hot, you hooligans. You guys know about this over on the website? Okay, there you go. That is something else. You have really outdone yourself, Too Old to Care. Holy. Bibsy, I don't know. You're getting censored on Twitch. They got this star crap going on. Oh, yeah. Rad, you can see it too. Yeah, they're censoring your stuff over on a Twitch for whatever reason. What's up, Janny? Happy freedom to you. Janny, you grab it down. You grab it down. If it's wuss, then you're okay. If it's balls, cut it. I mean, I'd rather ask. I don't like touching people. No worries, Jeff Reynolds. It's all good. I don't know what you guys are talking about on the website. Not Too Old to Care. It's hilarious. I just wish I could say it out loud. Trigger Crazy, what did you say? You had a bigot party? That's nice. Going off over on Rumble. Alright, I think we're good. Anyways, like I said, we're going to be getting into the fun stuff. We're going to do an unboxing here. I have all kinds of stuff that I'm getting ready to unbox. I can't hardly remember what all it is, but we'll get it figured out. Then we will open it. We will be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Hair Juicer, our survival Advent calendar. We'll see what we get. We got our 2 funny videos of the day coming up next. But first, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description. in order to send donations. You could do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Like I said, we're going to be doing some unboxing here. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with this, I suppose. Oh, let me not flash my address all over the place. Let me see what we got here. We got, here we go. We're going to figure out who we got it from first. What does it say? This sounds bad, so just strap up just in case. From Tori Wayne and Karma Carson. I think we got a brand new advent calendar here. Chili hot sauce advent calendar. Super badass. Super excited for that. And we got a flag. And I believe it's George Washington. And I think it says, stay strapped or get clapped. I'm going to look it up here in a second. Thank you so much, Tori Wayne and Karma Carson. Really appreciate it. Super excited about that. Klaus Daniels, you're going to have to hold up a second. I'm going to use your space. Safe space. Also, I was sent this by Astral Hammer, 310 to Yuma. I haven't got to see it, but now I get the opportunity. Thank you so much, Astral Hammer. I was supposed to open it on Saturday, but we had a change of plans. Then we got this. My buddy Carmelo gave me this for Christmas. He's been waiting to talk to me since Christmas. So if you've sent me messages and I haven't responded, don't worry. Everybody gets that kind of treatment. But this is a coffee mug and it's a bowl. And he thought that would be a nice addition to Coffee with Hooligans. So big shout out to Carmelo. Thank you so much. We'll set this right here. Hold on, buddy. Just a moment. Then this was provided to me by my dad and his wife. And it's a whole bunch of goodies for Klaus. Look at all of this. And I've been trying to defend it for a while here. But I'm going to let Klaus have it. Here you go, buddy. Check out all your new toys. He's got the good stuff, too. He's going to love this. He don't even know yet. I'm glad he can't read. It's like I'm not raising my cat right. He can't read yet. All right. This was sent to me by my sister. And this is kind of something for all of us. Here's a bag. Fold the bag. She got us the Screaming Goat. I think it's supposed to be a fence, but we're going to use it offensively. It's good stuff. And the Screaming Christmas Goat. So thank you so much, sister. I appreciate you so much. Look at that. Love it. Love it. One more. We got one more. Let's see. This is from my Mama Dillo. She made me an Easter egg with the hooligan badge on it. She made this. And it's full of candy. We're not going to open it right this second. But thank you so much, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, everybody. You guys are fantastic. Ooh. All right, that's our unboxing there. Hold on, we got to hear. What does the Christmas Screaming Goat sound like? I've been waiting. Let's see. You guys are probably talking a bunch of shit. I can't even see the chat right now. That's all right. Are you excited, Klaus Daniels? You don't even know what to do. I want to know. Does it scream like the one I got? Jeez, Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. Stupid. Holy. Look at this little guy. Look at that. Love it. I love it so much. Good. What's that one's name? You hooligans gotta help me name it. This is Mac the Goat. So what is the other one? Mac the Goat. Christmas edition. This is gonna be Mrs. Mac the Goat. All right. I think we got everything that we were supposed to do. Now it's time to open today's door of the Advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. This is our survival calendar. We've already dug in it a little bit. We had to skip a day because one day they provided air for us. Where are we at today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today is day 6. What is this? It is a screwdriver. Hold on a second. Put it together. Some assembly required. That's what the Democrats will be saying next. Who's going to assemble our tools if we deport everybody? Anyways. Look, little screwdriver tool here. Flathead. Good stuff. Thank you, hair juicer. I'm going to put it in our survival bag here. This is what we got on day one. Use some of that survival kit ASMR. You like that? Mm-hmm. Thank you, hair juicer. All right. Okay, I think I did the hard part. Now, we're going to get into our funny videos of the day. Let me get this pulled up really quick like. Yes. All right, hooligans. This one is titled, Uncles Will Be Uncles. Yes. So if you didn't read it, it says, feeding my vegan sister's baby barbecue ribs. That's right. That's right. Let me get this next video. This is our official funny video of the day. Let's see here. Los Daniels don't know what to do with himself. This is titled, it should be good. We should be able to see everything. This is titled, The Purpose of Dad Jokes.
Dad, how do you tell if a girl likes you? She laughs at your jokes, none of which are clever, original, or insightful. What? You think I tell bad jokes all day for nothing? You think that's fun for me? I'm probing your mother for honest signals of affection. When she stops smiling at the way I say, it's a whiskey maneuver, whenever I whisk eggs, I'll know she's bedding a co-worker, possibly that very night. I'm horrified. Hi, horrified. I'm Dad. Good. Very good.
I love that. That is good stuff. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. Grab this Linktree link really quick, drop it in all the chats. We're going to be reading through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Matt Rogers, that baby got flavor bombed. Yes. We got Cat Daniels. Meow meow. Oh, get yourself a catnip mouse. Very nice. Alright, hooligans, there's the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You'll have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums. You'll have access to the arcade. And you will also have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. Like I said, we're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Hey, thanks for being here, Muskie Boss, and happy freedom to you. Guess stand tall. It must be the pits when you call your own penis the dangly bits. Wise words from Guess Appreciate you being here, Guess Alistair, wait, so I have to... Wait a minute. So I haven't had to up my game every year? Damn it. I put in a lot of effort into staying funny. Yeah, Alistair. I mean, we got to have personal goals, so there ain't nothing wrong with that. What's up, Astro Hammer? Happy freedom to you. Josh 1776, a bike tool? It's super useful to get into electric boxes during the zombie apocalypse. Well, I'm sure. It wouldn't be in the kit if it wasn't a part of surviving, you know? I suppose that's how it goes. Hair Juicer, what was Thursday and Friday? Let me see. The whistle. It's a dog whistle. I don't know. It's a whistle of sorts. And then a cat ring. That's what we're gonna call this. This is a cat ring. It's kind of pokey. It's a little pokey. And the right Klaus Daniels. He's literally digging in his little treasure chest of goodies here. Bill Clay, I can't drive because I'm drunk. That's right. That's right. True Crazy, can I be a troll or am I stuck with Bigot? It's up to you. I think Bigot is starting to lose its glory. You know, Old Man Walter, they overused it. You can go back to being a troll if you want. It's up to you, buddy. Pumpkin, I fed the guard cats. The possums are safe tonight. Glad to hear it, Pumpkin. Trick Crazy, Corinne can't win. Told to carry a whiskey maneuver. Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You doing, Crazy? Nah, you go play with your own toys. Leave my stuff alone. Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the bestest. Hey, thanks for being here, Viola. Thank you, Meta. Rad Dude, what do you think about RFK said about autism? Saying that it's the environment causing it? Is that what you're talking about, Rad Dude? That was all I seen he said, which is like saying could be vaccines, could be the lead paint you lick while you're pregnant, could be lots of different things. I think all he was trying to say was that it wasn't just naturally occurring, that something is causing this rise in autism numbers, but that's about it. We covered it a week or so ago. What's up, QWERTY? Happy freedom. Ted Daniels is going ham. What's up, Wayne? Happy freedom to you. Oh, that's right, Alistair. It is still relevant. I shouldn't have downplayed it like that. See, True Crazy, we're keeping it alive. We are keeping it alive. Josh 1776, did you wear the ring Saturday? No, I had other survival gear with me. Be safe out there, Bill Clay. Thank you for being here with us. Just come in. All right, before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'll show you guys what this flag looks like. Ooh. Oh, you're not going to be able to see that. Let me figure out a way. That's even smaller. All right. This is what the flag is. Stay strapped or get your ass clapped. George Washington. I love that. Thank you guys so much for sending me gifts and all of that. It's that time once again, hooligans. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I muted myself at the end there. We're good. All right, we're going to read through one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind. But we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Josh 1776, what day was the bottle clip? I don't know. I don't know what day. I didn't realize I need to remember what day we opened what. I'm not sure, because we did have the bottle clip thing. Maybe it was the bottle clip instead of the whistle. Thanks to Old to Care. I appreciate you being here. Bill Clay, I love that quote by Washington. Me too. Much love to you, Pumpkin. Thank you, Ghostly. Rad, they're blocking out whatever you wrote. Hey, thanks for being here, Magic Moon. Thank you, T. Lawden. Have a good night. Thank you, Sage Pup. Thank you, MU. All right, hooligans. I think we are good to go. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I'll keep an eye out for Caroline Levitt in case we have a press briefing tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tuesday? Taco Tuesday? We'll see how it goes. Either way, I appreciate all of you guys being here. Thank you for joining me today for some more news. Shenanigans with my co-host, Kat Daniels. And thank you guys so much for sending me those gifts. I really appreciate all of you guys. So go out there, have some good food, enjoy the rest of your day, and please be safe and make your way back to us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.